Yeah, baby. Wonder if all my bad decisions get accounted in the algorithms. No statistician could dissuade me from my bigger vision. I know my occupation's quite an unlikely place in this world to occupy and talk about upon a daily basis. Our information's predetermined by some biased business. We all in sermon to Silicon that push out lovely neighbors. I'm done with paper chasing, think I'm on to bigger banquets. Miss that full circle, new wave, energy on a Tuesday. Turn a blue day to a bright hue, yellow with a smooth A in hair. Extra fruit, the brand. You can't move me. The music is man. It's a con job, but it's grand. I'm blessed with a great hand amongst many that stank. And yeah, it took some hard work, but blind luck play a huge role. And they say that it don't, when they feeding you fool's gold. And if I know one thing, the truth's home. Even if it's a tough thing to swallow, an even harder thing to hold and truly know without a doubt while on the globe. Even though that seems inherent, it ain't always so apparent. Dangle carrot, you ain't always gonna get it. But don't worry, it's a pretty February in a year with more to carry and more days is yet to come. Under the sun, taking the ferry to the city where the moment's extra pretty, like the people, like the idea that I keep inside my brain that isn't equal to the real world. All that stress ain't saving me fear though. I swear to God I'm trying. Look, they pushing their demons down my esophagus, screaming the easy life, what I want always. Praise made up holidays, tell me that love is the answer just to boost this economy. Buy more sell now, but I ain't following. I ain't a hollow man, I'm full of them fall winds. Take it all with a tall grin, and if you feel it, do it with me, and just sing what the song says. Take it all for what it is. It ain't all so big. So big. Take it all for what it is. It ain't all so big. Dearly beloved.
I know how you do it, guys. I have no sound. Let me do all of that over. Hello, guys. You know what, guys? Every time, listen, it's that Wednesday night thing that always gets us. But let me do it over. How about that? Hello, everyone. Thank you so much and welcome to SB Nation. I am Security Boss and thank you so much for being here.
Dearly beloved.
If you all haven't figured out yet, we got another outstanding show planned for you. It's basically how do you align women? How do we align with men who call us trash? We've already changed and they still out here calling us trash. What do we do? So we're going to get into that. But before we do that, I want to say hello to a few people and also just thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much for being here. And you guys are showing up. The lives are growing and I love your support. So make sure, guys, when you're coming into the live, you're giving us a thumbs up. Listen, y'all, I didn't check my numbers today, but I am just a little bit away from 4,000. But remember, y'all, when we get to 4,000, we having a party. All right. And I want you all to be there. So make sure if you have not yet subscribed to the channel that you go and do so. Make sure you just subscribe to the channel. And also, if you know anyone, y'all should be sharing these videos. If y'all have one of the videos that you all really like and you think I did a really good job, I need for you all to share the video. Tell someone about SB Nation. Let them know we 5 stars over here now. We 5 stars. Okay, keep that in mind. So you all are a part of this. So you guys are 5 stars also. And I thank you for that. Before we get started, I'm going to say hello to a few people and welcome you all to the live. And Thank you again for all your support. Stephen Day, what's going on? Hey, it's good to see you. Cora Harvest. Thank you, Cora. It's good to see you. I Excel. Very good to see you too. Listen, I love your engagement in that chat. You be chatting it up. Gang. Bobby M. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Gretchen. Hello. It's good to see you. M. Mills. Always thank you for your support, and you always hear support. And thank you for being here. B. Rose, how you doing? Shelby, it's good to see you. Tamika, Brittany B. Hey, how are you all? Both of you. Snuggles, how you doing? We're gonna drop the link, Snuggles. We will. But listen, are you gonna cam up? No. Dr. Steele, it's good to see you here. Thank you for the support. Let's see if it's somebody I've missed. Forgive me for that again. Throughout the live, we're going to be, if I recognize you, Riding the Six, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here. I would definitely give you a little finger. I'll give you a call out if we have a good opportunity to do so. If you have not been in my lives before, remember we read all super chats. But if you do contribute a super chat over $9.99, you will get the money line song, and it sounds like this. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Yeah. Hello, successful melanated Dusty. I happen to love that. BC, hello, it's good to see you also. Thank you guys for being here. Listen, we're gonna have a good night tonight. Y'all gonna have to be patient with me. I got some things I want to share with y'all. You know, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit so y'all can understand where I'm coming from, because this is interesting. It has been for a while, you know, and I've been listening, finding out what's the problem, you know, trying to figure out how can I help, you know, because I'm ready to get everybody married. Y'all already know that. I want everybody married. So I'm listening, trying to figure out how I can help, how can I contribute to the situation. And, you know, I want to tell men this, and I want to say this to women and what have you. And I'm going to continue to do so. I'm going to continue to be the example for women. Y'all, I'm about to start sneezing. Y'all know I got allergies. It's crazy. But I'm going to continue to be the example for women that I can be, and just share my life with you. Not in any judgment, you know, of course not. No condemn. Well, excuse me. I do judge situations because that's just who I am. But I will not be condemning anyone for where they are, because, hey, I was there too. That's why I share, and I love to share. And I'm so excited about my life, because at 25, I no longer had to be there. And I just wanted to share that with y'all, because wherever you are, as soon as you change your mindset, or let's say you don't like where you are, as soon as you change your mindset, you no longer have to be there. And for me, that happened at 25. And I just got to share with you all that it's good. It's good over here. Just want y'all to know that. So anyway, today, it's basically how to align women. How do we need to align? Or how do we align with men? And they just keep calling us trash. Y'all know in these spaces here, a woman, you know, we got some issues, and they always been calling out. They call it out all the time. But not all women have issues. Some women are willing to hear what you're saying, realize, or I should say, account for it, and they're working on it. They're doing the work. But guess what? We hear it so much. Can we trust you? So what do we do? Y'all ain't gonna like my answer. Because guess what? What I would say to you is, if some man or anybody's calling you trash, I wouldn't even bother to talk to him. Not at all. Keep it moving, because you're doing the work. And when you do the work, you realize what is not for you. All right. So I'm gonna share with you how we do that. But first of all, I'm gonna make sure I got my sound together, because okay. So listen, this comes from Miss Sarah J. I don't know if you in the live or not, but hopefully Thinking Man. Hello, how are you? I don't know if you are in the live or not, but this came from you. You made a comment. Tiffany, good to see you also. You made a comment about 4 months ago. And that's actually where I got this topic from. And we're going to talk about it, because it's important to talk about it, because it always goes back to who you are and how you hear and what you've done in your life. Because like I said, if you are doing the work, and you're wanting to be married, right? You're a woman that's wanting to be a wife, and you're doing the work, and they're still calling you trash. Now, it's two questions I would ask you. One, is it affecting you that they're calling you trash? And two, how does it affect you that they're calling you trash? See, because for me, if you have an answer, if your answer is no to does it affect you, you good. But if your answer is yes to does it affect you, and yes to how it affects you, you have an explanation, that means you haven't done the work. Because listen, guys, I hate to say it, but I hear men talk about women, sometimes good, sometimes bad. They go deep a lot of times. And I must say to you guys, it don't affect me. And it don't affect me because I'm married and I've done the work. So many months ago, I told you guys, when you can account for everything that you've done and you don't mind being accountable women, then it takes all the, there's no more fire. There's no more, nobody can hurt you anymore with that, with them saying something about your long weave or all these things you do. Once you account for it and your mindset has changed about what you're doing or what you've done, nobody can ever hurt you, or you will never, ever have to be hurt by that ever again. You don't. Because you just took all the, you took all the strength away from that individual that may call you trash. Because guess what? That's not you. Because you've accounted for whatever you did. Me, single mom, sex before marriage, young woman, I accounted for it. So guess what? Can't nobody throw that rock at me anymore. Because guess what? I took all the power, I took my power back. And see, that's what women need to do. But if you haven't done that, men calling you trashy, men dogging you out, telling you how aggressive you are, how all these things that we do, it will affect you. So all that means, ladies, is this, that if a man is calling you trash, first of all, he's not going to be the man that you want, because I'm going to tell you about that too. But before we get started, we're going to read Dr. Steele's super chat. And he says, if you know what you are worth, and what improvements you need to make, it should not matter what others say about you. And you just said what I said. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. Thank you. But there's a method to this. And I'm talking to women right now, because there's a way that we don't have to fight this battle. It is a way. And the first thing we do is we got to account for the things that we've done. And I've already said that. Now, listen, when you're doing this accountability, you're just not saying, yeah, I did it. Your mindset needs to change within that, right? You need to be saying you need to be self-reflecting. You need to be asking yourself, while self-reflecting, why did I do that? Where was I mentally when I did that? What made me do that? You need to ask yourself all those questions, but also in that, because now you said already you're ready to be a wife, and you're looking, your husband, you're ready to be chosen. You all have to also ask yourself, am I selfish? Do I have an ego?
Dearly beloved.
Am I greedy? Am I easily angered? Do I have pride? Is my pride just outgrow? It just supersedes me. You have to ask yourself all those things and just see where you fare out when you're asking those things. Because what you're looking for, guys, is you're looking for that man. And this is the part we never hardly talk about. We always get hung up on the woman's role in this marriage. And y'all already know what it is. You got to submit. You better submit. We always get hung up in that. And which is, that is our role in marriage. But one of the most important things about this is, though, all those questions I just asked, are you easily angered? Are you selfish? Are you, is your ego bigger than everybody's? Is your pride supersedes you? All of those things. Those things are the things that men, that's love, right? Love is patience. Love is kindness. Love is don't envy. So it's basically asking for just the opposite of who we are. So we're looking for the love to cover those things that we are, or that we shouldn't be anymore. We should say yes to all those things. So love is patience. Love is kind. Now, guess what? If you're self-reflecting and you're failing the test on any part of those, that's what you're missing. And that's what we have to self-reflect on. And that's what we have to be. because we want that man. See, the thing is, remember I told you initially, if a man is trashy or talking trash about you, that's not the man you want. I agree with that, because the man you want is the man that knows how to love you, and that's what you should look for. Now, for me, of course, I always go back to the godly principles, and that is what Christ told men to do. Love your wife. But if your wife, us ladies, if we don't have those same principles or we don't carry those same characteristics, that man can't see you. He can't give you that. He can't give you that. So therefore, guess what happens? You can't submit to him, because you're not getting what he's supposed to give, and you can't, because guess what? I got to be honest with y'all, and I'm be totally honest. Submission is not supposed to be hard. It's almost supposed to be a natural response to what you're getting in the marriage. If your husband's loving you the way Christ loved the church and him, and he's exhibiting that, because that's the man and husband you want. You don't want that piece of man. I'm telling you guys, you don't want it. You don't want that piece of man. Successfully melanated Dusty says it's the opposite out here. The opposite out here. Oh, I got you. It's the opposite out here. Yeah, but we got to get it back on track, because guess what? The women saying we've changed. We're doing the work. So now we have to figure out how we have to show up, right? If we're not exhibiting these things, then we got a problem, because this is what we're asking for. This is a wife, y'all. A wife can't be a woman that's puffed up. A wife can't be a woman that's easily angered. We can't be that. A wife's ego can't supersede her. It definitely can't supersede the marriage or the relationship. A wife can't be self-seeking, sometimes known as being selfish. We can't be that, right? And then expect it. We can't do that. So in other words, we're looking for men, not the men that's calling us trash. We're just going to continue to go by them. And we're not going to listen to them, because they don't mean anything to us. So if a man is calling you trash, that's not the man you want. You want the man that follows Christ. I'm going to say it directly. And the man that's willing to love you. And remember, that love he's giving you, it's the same love that Christ has given to him. And it's showing up in him. So therefore, it can come to you. And then you can definitely be submissive. So we're not looking for the trash heaps. We're not looking for what you all call pookies and ray-rays or none of that. We're looking for the man that wants to be married and that's willing to love. And therefore, he will receive the submission with, it's like a second nature. If a man is loving you, he's showing you patience. He's showing you kindness. Women, how kind are we? How kind are we? How easily angered are we? Because we've changed. So did we check all this? Now, I know what y'all going to say, because I know this is true. We have suffered a lot of trauma. So this is the deal. In you accounting for the things that we've gone through in our life, we need to stop right there and say, listen, am I exhibiting some traits for some trauma that I've gone through? Or am I still in the trauma? And if I am still in this trauma, I got to stop right here. Because I got to stop, because right now I'm not deserving of a man. I'm not. I got to get this fixed. So either I consult with your creator on a daily basis to get this fixed. Because I don't necessarily believe that everybody needs to go to a counselor. But guess what? You got to do something. You can't continue to carry this trauma everywhere you go and feel like every man that has 2 legs and a penis is just like the one that caused you trauma, because that ain't how it goes. And we can't be altering things and thinking that men need to submit to us or lead us, or we need to lead the man. It can't be like that. That's not what the word of God tells us to do in marriage. That's not what Christ has told us to do. Now, this is only for those women who wants to be married, who want to be a wife, and you're doing the work. This is the man that you're looking for. You're not looking for this. Listen, I'm not even looking for the guy that's talking about this marriage is business. Because see, business starts with contracts. Contracts are negotiable, and they come very flawed sometimes, always leaning from one to another. Somebody's always, the consideration is never equal. And I'm just not down with that. My marriage is much more than that. A marriage is 2 people coming together to be one, who have a common interest. He's loving me. I'm respecting and submitting to him. How easy is that? How easy can it be? But we make it so hard. But guess what? We're not looking for trash. So if trash is what you see, then you need to continue to work on you. So ladies, if we're still looking and it's still identifying itself as trash, I haven't gotten in a good place yet. We need to recognize trash to be what it is and just say, you know what? That brother ain't right now. Because we want someone to honestly love us. And again, I'm going to keep saying to y'all, patient kindness, it doesn't easily anger. Doesn't carry an ego. It's not puffed up. It's not self-seeking, And I'm going to give you another one too. And you know what? People make mistakes, but I bet you it ain't going to run out to make some options either. It ain't going to be out there just exercising options. Not this man I'm talking about. So it all depends on what you want and how much you're willing to do to get it. But again, we have to check ourselves and see if we have these qualities that we're looking for. Because see, this is the man I married right here. Now, listen, guys, it don't mean he perfect. It don't mean I could go to work one day. I come home, he got the house clean. That don't mean that, guys. But it means his heart and soul is in the right place and is seeking the Father, Christ. That's what that means. That means his intentions are going to be to do the right thing. Will he do it all the time? No, but his intentions and his heart and his soul is there. He's not going to be the man out there exercising options. I'm sorry. Now, may he make a mistake? Because we can all fall away. We can all, get distracted. We can all, be in a bad place sometimes. We can all get weak. I get it. But his heart and soul is to do right. And this is the man that you want to be with. So therefore, you got to make sure you got to check yourself, account for the things you've done wrong and who you are. If there's trauma involved, stop. Get help, figure out what's wrong, and then come back and say, you know what, I'm good now. I've done this. And then let's exhibit love. The kindness that we're looking for is the kindness we should be. The pride should be in who we are. You don't have self-pride, but it should not supersede the relationship. You shouldn't be like, again, remember I told y'all you shouldn't a $30,000 ring that supersedes the relationship. We shouldn't be that way. We shouldn't be so prideful that we think that we deserve those type things. That's not who you're supposed to be. Because when that man is that way, there's a problem. So make sure you're aligning with what you want. And I guarantee you, this trash talking things that you're talking about that we hear, men dogging women and things of that nature, it won't even affect you because that's not who you are, or that won't be who you are. So we must, ladies first, just ignore the men that are talking trash because that's not what you're looking for. If I've never told you before that is not who you're looking for, I'm telling you today, you're looking for the man who has gotten his instructions or who seeks instructions from his creator, Christ, the Father, and his heart and soul is in that. Now, this is me talking again. You can get married on so many different agreements. You can. I'm not telling you can't. But guess what? The principle is still the same. Would you want a man that's not kind? Would you want a woman that's not kind? Would you want a man that's easily angered? No. You won't. The principles are the same, whether you give God the reverence or Christ the reverence or not. The principles are still the same. But see, the only difference is when you don't reverence him, who's keeping you? What is your foundation made of? So that's what we have to look for, ladies. So anyway, my point I'm trying to make is it's about us. If trash talking men is affecting you, that means there's something that has not been accounted for or something that has not been corrected. So what we need to do is make sure that we're self-reflecting. The last 2 Fridays, I've been talking about self-reflection. I'm not going to stop talking about it. It's going to come up here and there until we do it, until we accomplish what we needed to accomplish. Because again, I want women to have good men that love them. And it seems to me like the air of this YouTube space is that all men are the same. They're no good. It's not enough of them out here that care, and they lead their kid, all that junk. And I know that that's not the story of every man in these YouTube spaces or in the United States. I know that it's not. I know that there are some good men, and I know that there are some good women too. And those good women and men need to be together in marriage, but they just keep missing each other because we just keep talking about so much junk in between. And it's time out for that. So again, if we want to these good men, we need to align ourselves with them, with what we're looking for. And again, I say we're looking for the love that, let me just go tell you where it's at. The love where I'm talking about is in 1 Corinthians 13. It starts off with the patience, the kindness. It don't envy. It does not boast. It is not prideful. It's not self-seeking. It's no egos. It's not easily angered. Are we? Are we, ladies? Are you any of that? You cannot be that and expect to receive that. You can't be that and expect to receive that. But this is what Christ has told men to do for us in marriage. This is what you do for your wife, and your wife needs to submit to you. Now, understand this part. With Christ telling us to submit to the husbands, it has nothing to do with the husbands. It has all things to do with him, because that's what he did for you. So when we talk about, submission, that's like slavery, why, and this, we're not right. We haven't corrected something within us. Or, maybe you don't accept these principles to be what holds a marriage, to be married. Maybe this is not what your marriage is built on. So I'm not talking to everybody. So I can understand that too. But I'm talking to the ones who want to be married, and they want their marriage to be forever, or until the end, or to death do you part, or what have you, whatever marriage means to you. I'm talking to that person. I'm talking to the person that wants a man that loves them. I'm talking to a woman that doesn't mind submitting and wants to have a good marriage. That's the woman I'm speaking to. And you have to self-reflect to make sure that you have accounted for all those things that are in you that are wrong, or that is not a representation of love. Because remember, love is what we want. Love is what we want. So if those harsh words that you're hearing are still getting under your skin, make sure you figure out what is going on. Make sure you check yourself. I'm talking about some for real stuff, guys. I'm not talking about just, I did that. No, I'm talking about a sincere relationship. I'm talking about a sincere relationship with Christ, or with your creator, to figure out who you are, because now you're wanting to share in life with somebody else. And you having all this conflict. You like, these men won't do this for me. This man won't do that for me, but we don't really know who we are. So I'm telling you, we got to check ourselves so we can receive what it is that we want. And what you want is love from your husband. And what you're willing to give in that is the submission. And I promise you guys, it's like second nature. It's not a thought. It's not like, I ain't going to submit to him today because I don't like that. You do that because you know this person has your back. I just gave you a list of things this man has been ordered to do. And if he's doing any parts of that, and that's who he is, it's in his heart and it's in his soul, you got it made. You got it made. So submission that's lightweight. And respect, why wouldn't you respect that person? How could you not? So if that's what we're looking for, then that's what we have to be. So again, we have to self-reflect, ladies. We're going to self-reflect, and we're going to be accountable for who we are and what we've done. Now, I'm done. We're going to drop the link. So if anybody is here that has a question, that wants to add to it, lady or man, because there was a lot going on in that chat. I saw some things about submission again. I saw it's totally opposite out here. It would be totally opposite out here because nobody has ever given you an example of how you should be as a wife or a husband. Men think that all they should do is provide. All you think it should be provision and some security, covering, but you have no idea what that means. And I'm telling you now what that means, how it looks like totally, because I'm telling you the truth. Most men, maybe not in this day and time, most men in these day and times are becoming smarter men. And they saying, look, we're going to do this because they really want these relationships. They really want to have a family. They really want to build this legacy. But in my day, before me, provision was it. You could exercise options all over town if you could pay for them. Now, that's not a marriage to me. That's what trauma comes from. There ain't nothing good about that, guys. It's nothing good about it. You're not going to get the respect that you want. No, you get some hot grits. You'll get deleted. You get all type of things. You get a mean woman who is easily angered. See, I'm trying to prevent us from going through this stuff that we've already been through. It's already been demonstrated. And nobody corrected it. Nobody said, well, why is this happening? If you would just stop doing this, if you would just stop cheating, if you would just stop, if you would just clean the house and cook for me and all that, if you would have, but nobody understands how to get to the root of the problem. And I've just shared with you this. So I'm trying again to be the example. So you heard it put this way with men, love your wife. Now what? Love them. It's more than provision. It's more than covering. It's more to it than that. You have to become one with this woman. Because guess what? When you hurt, she hurts. And don't take that literally, y'all. I don't mean as in ouch. I mean as you're supposed to love your wife as though she is you. Now, if you're not loving your wife as though she is you, that means you don't love yourself. And if you don't love yourself, again, that's some trauma that needs to be dealt with. Even in the men, there's some trauma. Because guess what? One thing you should do is love yourself. And if you have not accomplished that, we got to figure out why. Women the same way. Why would a woman not respect her husband? Now, guess what? It's so crazy, y'all, because they'll lay with a man. They'll have sex with a man. They will give your total body to a man and get up and cuss him out. Lack of respect or no respect. How is that possible, guys? Jay says, let me read what Jay just said. Jay says, I want to get married. But these ladies want to be what? 666. It's cold world out here. Listen, Jay, I hear what you're saying. But if I told you right now today that that's a cover up, would you believe me? See, I think that's a cover up. Because I think if a man truly loved a woman and he's interested in her, she is going to do whatever he wants her to do. Now, listen, there are still women out there that you don't want. For women, it's real easy. We see the men that's calling us trash and disrespecting us. We can see that. It's crystal clear. Crystal clear. I don't want that man because he's not a man that's going to treat me the way I need to be treated. Men, you all get caught up a little bit because y'all very exterior. If she look good, she smell good, she's a good, feminine fit, all that. Y'all get caught up and y'all get involved in, and your mind get a little twisted. She's really maybe not the right woman, but you won't see it until maybe it's a little too late. But the reality of it is, if you love a woman that is the right woman, none of that stuff makes a difference. It won't. And I know you probably said that, SB, that's a different woman out there now. I'm telling you, a woman is a woman. As a woman is a woman, because guess what? They still sleeping with you. They still giving themselves to you. They still hoping that you love them. They're still thinking giving away their box is how to get to the love. Now, if you say I'm not honest and true about that, then you need to talk to me, because last I checked, women still giving away the box. And see, we give away our box because we're looking for that emotional connection to that man that we want to love us. But we got it all wrong. It's all wrong, but we're still doing it. And see, that's how we keep coming up as single mothers, because we think if we give away the box and our box is different from the last box, he's going to choose our box and we're going to be together. He going to love me. And then some men are just out there telling they do love him. Y'all know that ain't the truth. Stop lying to these women. Don't do it. But it's just how it's going, y'all. Don't do it. Now, men, y'all gonna tell me all day, no, SB, these women are different. Those are the women that are not wives. And I can agree with that. I'm talking about the woman that wants to be a wife, that wants to get married. If you love her, you don't have to be 6 feet, 6-figured, and all of that. You don't. Trust me, you don't. Because guess what? You're presenting yourself as the man that can love a woman, that is willing to treat this woman as a wife, as your helpmeet, as the woman that you're going to serve her and you to have your kids. You're going to take care of her. You're going to provide for her. Now, y'all going to be in a marriage together. So we're together. We all have our role in that marriage, which is true. That woman, if you're sharing with her that is something that you will do, she will love you and respect you and submit to you. But women, to have a good woman, it's going to require that you love her. It really is. Women need that type of security from a man, that loving security. Now, a lot of people don't even put it together. Some people just say, oh, security. Oh, I'll get her a house. I'll get her a place to live. Women, Women need their hearts to be secure. Otherwise, you get old angry woman, an honorary woman, a woman that you can never make happy because she has no idea what she's missing because you've gotten her all the externals. You've gotten her the house, the car, you got the 6 figures or some money. You take, and you'll be like, I don't know what she wants. I can't make her happy. She wants you to love her. And I know, because we always into this emotional type love, that comes and go. That's why they keep giving you the box. I'm telling you something. They keep giving you the box because guess what? You're never closer to anyone unless you're right there, right? And they just think, we be thinking it'd be so great that you're going to just melt. And it's going to be everything, right? We got to get over that. We got to get over, but that is what we think. Am I telling women secrets or not? I'm sure y'all already know this, right? So this is why we're having such a huge conflict. Now I'm talking to people that want to be married. I'm not talking to people that, just out there. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to women that want to be married, that want to do the work. And I'm talking to men who want to be married, just like the young man that just made the comment. And there are a lot of you out here. So I'm telling you how to get there. Keep them coming at me. I'm telling you how to do it, y'all. I'm telling y'all how to do it. I'm telling the secrets, right? It's no secrets. I'm just tired. Listen, this is something I've learned or I've seen in these relationships since I've been in the YouTube spaces. There's nothing organic or authentic about any of these relationships that I hear. Nothing.
Dearly beloved.
You all have your boxes and you got everything just mapped out. If she checks this, you just told me 6 figures, 6-pack, 6 feet, everything checked. You think she's checking off the box? Oh, he that. Oh, this is good. I'll talk to him. There's nothing organic about that. There's nothing authentic about that, guys. Relationships are not like that. That's not going to get you from day 1 to day 27 of a marriage, because I'm going to tell you, year 27, because I'm going to tell you what happens. We change. And so how is that going to work? How is that going to work for life? How is that going to work through a hardship? How is that going to work through a illness? How is that going to work through twins 2 times? How will it? It won't. Because anytime that marriage is tried or anytime that relationship is tried, it's going to fall apart because there was no foundation. But when you go back to the actual foundation and the instructions, the blueprint that we were actually given for marriage, when Christ told husbands to love their wives the way he loved them and the way he loved the church, his own design, then it'll work, because he's told you all. Now, listen, you got to do it. You got to have that much faith in that commitment or that covenant that you make with your wife when you say, will you marry me? And she says, I do, and you do too. Then that's what starts it, because you're like, now, I'm committed to this thing because you got your blueprint. I'm supposed to be patient with her. So when she's talking too much, I heard a young man say, women just talk too much. I don't even want to hear him talk. I don't even want my woman to talk. Okay, again, you need one of them little blow up dolls, because you don't want a wife, because wives will talk, because eventually, y'all, maybe not coming in the door, but eventually your wife probably would be close to being your best friend, if not your best friend, because guess what? You guys are becoming one and y'all sharing in everything, if not all things. Pretty much probably all things. Pillow talk, everything. Guess what? Your wife might even use your toothbrush one day. I don't know. That's a lot. But anyway, so y'all sharing everything. So saying stuff like you don't want your wife to talk, you're not ready to be married and you really don't want a wife. So stay away. Don't become another bad experience from another woman, for a woman, period. Just stay single till you're ready. Stay by yourself. You ain't got to hear nobody talk. How about that? You hear people say things like that. There's nothing. I'm just telling you guys, when you're talking about being married, it has to be something. You got to like this person. You got to love this person. If not, it won't work. You can't just be checking off boxes. And I hear it now. I hear that most, the theory now is to protect yourself, get your prenup. And you know what? We're living in a time where people have totally dismissed certain things. and certain things are not very important to them. So it is hard to trust. And if you are a person that has accomplished several things in life at whatever age you are, I would say protect yourself, because you don't know. But I would hope that this experience, or the experience, wouldn't be a negative one. But again, you do have to protect yourself at these times. So I get it that theory is being pushed upon you as though, this is what you should do. And again, I do agree a little that this is what you should do. But I'm still hoping that that woman that you choose to be your wife, or vice versa, is someone that is genuine and authentic and ready to be in your life. So we have Mr. Chaotic here. Chaotic, you ready? Chaotic, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing awesome. I think your title is incredible. I think your thumbnail is very beautiful. I would hope that most women, when they see your thumbnail, they will want to become the embodiment of the woman that is in the photo. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he turned whores, prostitutes into upright women. He also turned gang banging thugs into upright men. I say this and I keep on saying this, security boss. You are doing the work of the Lord right now.
I hope so. Thank
A
you.
woman should be conservative.
Mm-hmm.
A woman should embody elegance, should embody femininity. And a lot of men need to require that of their mate. Now, if you don't, you're going to have a lot of problems. Now, I come from a two-parent household. SB, you are an individual who's still married and you're conservative. And I would like for younger people, especially, to look at an SB. Look at how she's dressed. Look at how she speaks. This is what a woman is: conservative, feminine, and knows how to acquiesce to a responsible man. Now, the reason why I am who I am, it's not to troll. It's not to be a jerk. It's not to be an asshole. I believe what has happened, especially in the black community, is that black men have not set the standard for feminine behavior. And to a degree, you have to blame a lot of black men. You should never want your female or your woman to come out the house dressed half naked. You should never want your female to come out the house talking loud. And as an end result, you see what has happened, SB.
Mm.
You see a culture of just absolute debauchery because the black man has not set the standard for himself. You see, a woman will follow. She will follow. She may have Jezebel tendencies. Well, she's a human being. But if a man says, shut your mouth, put these clothes on, don't speak when I'm speaking to other men, stay out of drama, I'm pretty sure that most women will follow suit. But the problem, SB, is that most women have been allowed to behave or misbehave because we have a lot of simps within our culture. And the simps have got to go. And that's why I say, SB, we need to shame. We need to shame the single mothers. We need to shame the whores. We need to shame the debauchery so that they will change. Tattoos, more than more than two piercings or body piercings, talking to the ancestors, that behavior has got to go. That behavior is devilish, and it leads to devilish behavior. This whole I'm independent movement, look at the end result of this whole independent movement, SB. SB, I know a lot of deltas. I know a lot of AKAs. I know a lot of educated women, and I've also dated these types of women. They put their degrees before you. They put their career in your face.
Hmm.
And to this day, SB, I know a lot of women who are well to do, who are single cat ladies. Men are not attracted to your PhD in underwater basket weaving. We're not attracted to you being a member of Delta Sigma Theta. I'm not attracted to those things. And I'm speaking on behalf of men. We are attracted to whether you can cook, clean, and shut the F up. And as men, I will admit, don't get me wrong, I like most men, we like women who are sexy, but there's a time and a place to be sexy. And as men, we need to set the standard. Listen, dress like this in private. Do not come out the house looking like a prostitute. SB, I'm 37. I'm not that old, but I'm not that young. Remember in the 90s, SB, when a woman who was dressed provocatively would be referred to as a strawberry? Remember those days? I don't know. Okay, so you were from different parts of the country. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a okay. So we're from different parts of the country. So, but there was a time when even in the black community, a woman dressed like that would be shamed. Yeah. Um, SB, I remember growing up, and there were older black women,
Mhm.
and if they saw a black female who was younger sitting, I mean, even sitting provocatively,
Yep.
a older black woman would say, "What you got your legs open for?" Remember those old black Negro women of
Yep.
yesteryear?
Yep. I
Yeah,
do.
I
That is
certainly
very
do.
true.
I certainly do. You're gonna have to change your behavior, both men and women. Hell, and even myself. I'm not perfect, SB. But SB, I think that you are doing the work of the Lord right now. Your presentation speaks volumes. Your cadence speaks volumes. You're not smoking a cig. I don't know. I mean, you probably don't smoke, but you're
Mm.
not smoking. You're not drinking alcohol. You don't have facial tattoos. If you are younger, look at an SB. If you are a woman, this is the type of woman you would want to be when you get older and mature. Let SB be an example. When I look at SB, I see Felicia Rashad. I see Rosa Parks. That didn't come off the way that I wanted it to come off. Yeah, not
Nope.
Rosa, but you know what I mean. I see a
Mhm.
refined female. Yeah, that didn't come off the way that I thought it was going to come off of. You
Mr.
know what I
Park,
mean. You know what I mean.
we
I
understand where you're going with
yeah,
this, buddy.
I
We
see
do.
Ruby D.
I see. Ruby D.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
Ruby D was a classy woman. Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I thought she
Okay.
was. I mean,
Mhm.
but I know the old Ruby D. So I don't know the young Ruby D. Rest in peace. See, this is what you want to be. If your woman is going out and you're dating her and she wants to go to the club and she's 30 and she wants to shake her ass and drink, you need to tell her, bad girl. That is bad. Bad girl. Don't do that. Ladies don't behave like that. Ladies don't get blacked out, wasted. You need to change your behavior. Just like in the title here that SB has. Change. Oh, I like getting drunk with my chick. Well, you're a fool, man.
You
If you
definitely
like
are.
getting drunk with your chick out in
You
a bar
definitely
somewhere,
are. You
that is
are.
devilish behavior.
It's not smart. It is
And
not
you need,
smart.
yep, and you need to be a responsible man, and you need to make sure that your woman changes her behavior. Because at the end of the day, when she gets drunk and wasted, you are still held responsible for everything that comes after. Am I lying, SB?
No, you're actually telling the truth, and you're making my point, or you're following the
Absolutely.
actual opening statement that I made, because you
Black
just
men,
pointed out a lot
unfortunately,
of trashy
join.
behavior. And
Mm,
like I said initially, if what you're saying and the things that you just mentioned, if that if someone is in the live or in the comment section that set them back, or they felt a little bit abused, or felt something, a reaction from what you were saying, then those are the women that need to change. We need to account for that behavior, and we need to say, let's self-reflect and see, what part do I do? Will I go to the strip club with my man?
Oh,
And
never.
why am I going to the strip club with my man? And things of that nature.
That is trash.
You brought up you started the same way I did. I don't know if you knew that, but that was my beginning. If hearing men talk about trashy behavior of women affects you, then you need to change.
Yeah. Now, SB, what's up, Black Man Unfiltered?
What's going on, my brother?
Now, SB, I've done a lot of studies into ancient African American history, 1900s. If you look at old photos of old Negroes from back in the day, they dressed appropriately, at least from what I've seen on TV or the pictures. They tried to at least emulate higher society, even whites. And what I'm saying is this: if you are a female with a lot of tattoos, cover up. At least try to pretend to be the Michelle Obamas, the Oprah Winfreys of society, the kings and the queens of society. If you are a gangbanger and you smoke black and milds, pretend at least in public to be Obama. At least try to pretend. Change. At least change in public. All that debauchery, leave it at home. But guys, I have to manage my channel tonight because I have a host. SB, thank you so much for allowing me to speak. Black Man Unfiltered, I think you are an awesome content creator. I think SB is the Michael Jordan. Black Man Unfiltered, you are the Scottie Pippen.
Come on.
And I am the Larry Bird. I don't know if that makes any sense.
You gotta be the white man. What you saying?
Well, Larry, I have to at least make it diverse.
Listen, you know what? I need you to go over there and manage you know what? As long as you and I have an agreement. As long as you do what I asked you to do earlier, we good.
I will do that. But I've done a lot of videos on dark skinned women. But I will do that.
It was a joke. But anyway.
I know. But nevertheless, guys, if you are a young female in the chat, if you're like 19, 20, 21, look at SB. Look at how she is dressed. Look at everything about her. This is the woman you should want to be like. Guys, on that note, salute to you guys. Happy Friday. Thank you. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace.
We'll see you soon.
Absolutely.
All right. Good night. Black man.
Yes, ma'am.
Before you do anything, let's do this super chat.
Yes, do it.
Sale, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. You get the money line.
Money line. I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up
and no decline.
Money line. I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline. Yeah, yeah.
So listen here. I don't know how much you've heard from today, but I decided that we need to talk to the women. We gotta make sure women know that what we are, or we need to be what we're looking for, because we need to, of course, set our standards high, and we need the men to have this blueprint of marriage, and they need to love us. So submission would be quite easy to do. So I don't know if you heard all that or what I've talked about thus far, but what you got for us, sir? Are you gonna be a trash talker tonight?
Yeah, listen, let me say this,
so I can get my shotgun ready.
I think. Let me take my watch off here. I think that the only way to be amazing is to be what God created you to be.
Absolutely.
You can't say that you're amazing and you're against marriage, you're against the nuclear family. You would rather see a single mom with 3 kids struggling with a job than see her with a man. Those are the times that we're living in today, security boss.
Apparently so.
Women champion women that are single. They champion women that are not married. They champion women that are not, that don't believe in anything. They champion these women. But so many of those women that encourage you to be who you are, when you go home at night and your house is quiet, there's nobody saying mommy, there's no man saying baby. Then what? I don't understand. Security Boss, for the last week, I've been watching and just awe.
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been interesting. You're right.
I've had my quarrels, but there's nothing like to see the consistency, and at least they're consistent, right? But the consistency of marriage is a trap. Dominion is for animals, not for. Oh, Lord, help me, Jesus. Get through this. Let me help me get through, Lord. It's just so much negativity toward. And then my thing is this: if you don't fall in line as a woman, if you don't fall in line, they're gonna get you. Security Boss, like I'm saying, when the women out here, if they come to Security Boss and they hear Security Boss, they already don't like you, and you already know why. Because you have a handsome husband. You're a beautiful woman yourself. You take care of yourself. You're well spoken. You're well dressed every day. You have a beautiful smile, beautiful skin complexion. You built something with your husband. Your husband has built something with you. Everything is in one pot. You are everything that they're not, and they don't want to be.
But listen, I got an answer for that. I got an answer for it. I'm gonna tell you what the easy answer is for it.
Go ahead.
Leave them at the restaurant.
Leave them at the restaurant.
You don't want them.
Dearly beloved.
You don't want them women. If a woman can't preserve herself and create herself to be a wife, and a mother for a man that wants her as his wife, then she doesn't want that. I'm good with it. I'm perfectly fine with it. I just think it's, you know what? I see it as holding up a big sign saying, not me. Not me, not me, not me. I'm not the one. Good. I mean, it's crystal clear. Crystal clear. But we cannot confuse that with the ones who have had trauma, that want to be the wives, but they're not getting the examples because we're looking for the men to be a certain way, and the men may not know the way to be because of all the distorted messages that they're hearing also. Because guess what, black man, just to be honest with you, I don't want no trifling man in my life either.
Exactly. I
want a man that loves me, that has patience with me, that's kind to me, that's not angry with me, that doesn't bully me, that I want that. I have that. But I'm saying that's what I want. That's what a husband is. And I don't know for sure, but I would say that most women who want to be married, that is what they're looking for, and that's what they want. And that's what, if I would dare to say this too, now you got to help me. I may be going out on a limb. I almost think that will change them if they see it. If they see it. Now, listen, that might take some years and some therapy and some things like that. And that may not be something that most men want to sign up for. And I get it. But we still need to know, because guess what though? Like you just said, there's nothing better than you going back or you being the person that God created. So even in that, you're becoming a better person if you learn what that is. Right?
Right. And like it goes back to, again, it's who you listen to. My grandmother said, son, you can go outside in that garden out there and you can plant poison and you can plant roses. Both of them are going to grow. You can't, both of them are going to do the same thing. It's just what you choose to be around. And it's like again, a lot of these women out here are just spreading all of this just mayhem, and they didn't took the Bible and turned it into a damn feminine guide for 2022 women. They flip the scriptures. Men can't do this. They can't do that. Men, submit to your wives. It does say wives submit to your husband. Husband submit to you. But we can't read verse 2 and 3 and leave out 5 and 6.
Well, you also have to
Dearly beloved.
You also have to know who's giving these instructions. If it came from Christ, then okay. But if it's somebody else who was having a hard time with some women, then you have to still know.
Right. And the other night when I was watching that blasphemy, we were talking about Paul. Paul I ain't no Bible scholar, but I read it. I read it. Paul was a man that was in his feelings. He was in his feelings when he wrote that.
You
And
know,
Paul said,
he also said you can get divorced. But what does Christ say about being divorced?
right, he hates it. And that's my point. We listening to the wrong people. And that's why, you know, like I said, even myself, I want to be transparent here with myself. And Doctor, here, I'm gonna let you have it. Even me, when I first started in YouTube, that was me. Not listening to nobody. I'm gonna say what I want to say. I'm gonna attack every damn body. Don't come for me. I'm gonna cut your ass out. But now, when your surroundings change, you start to change. You become what you are around. When you look up and you see women like Security Boss, why would I act like that in Security Boss's presence? Why would I act like that out of her presence when we've had conversations about elevating? Why would and family values? Why would I act like that in her presence when this is a woman that's preserving her children and got a man and they're living well? Why would I do that to all these good women in our circle? Why would I continue to be the same person? If I'm the same person in 2010 that I am in 2020, I've wasted 10 years of my life.
So what you just said, black man, is this. You came in and you didn't have any examples. The only examples you had was what you knew. And that's why you was going off. You was treating it as such. You was matching the energy.
Exactly.
Now that you've been here, you see some people and you've met some people that have a different energy. So you give them different energy. So now so in other words, you're just growing. Your mind is being expanded. So guess what? It's going to continue to be that way. And I think the same thing can happen for everybody. Right. If they allow it to happen.
There you go.
If they allow it to happen. So guess what? Again, until they are ready for it to happen, then they're gonna be in their way. And you know, they're gonna continue. Sometimes we continue to justify our behavior. But see, for me, and I'm hoping for you and everybody here at SB Nation, we're trying to go to a different place. We're trying to elevate, we're trying to have it all. So we're trying to elevate ourselves and be the best, you know, we can be married, have testimonies about the marriage, have long-term marriages. It's not all this fussing and arguing and controversy on how you got to live this stuff. You have to have relationships. This stuff has to be livable. If in fact you twist the word of God and then your man beating you in the head every day because y'all in that position, that means something ain't right.
Right.
Remember, all this stuff bears fruit, right? So if a woman is leading and a man is following and she beating them in the head, that fruit that we're aligned with is not correct. So you don't really have to even worry about it. Just let it. You know what,
Security Boss? I was watching this. I watch a lot of stuff to stay well known about stuff. But anyway, there's this preacher and he was doing the snakes. You know about that, Dr. Steele, where the preacher used to dance with the snakes. And this happened just recently. And the preacher was up there and he said, God told me to do this. He told me, you know, the white man, he told me that you guys are going to be blessed tonight. Hand me that rattlesnake over there. And they grabbed him that rattlesnake. He started dancing. Hallelujah. Somebody's going to be saved tonight. And that rattlesnake come up and bit him dead in the face. And guess what everybody else did? Grab a snake. Let the snake bite us too. That's what the Lord say. We following him. All of them in the emergency room. The preacher damn near died.
Hey, if you don't have no
discernment to know right from wrong.
You listen, I just say judge the fruit. If somebody is a follower of Christ and they always angry, you gotta check it.
Say it again. Say that again.
I said if someone is a follower of Christ and they always angry and never operating in love, you gotta check it. You gotta figure out what's going on because Christ brings me joy.
Come on, you talking today?
Hey, the funny thing is, I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. Go ahead.
The funny thing about these snakes, if you remember in the Bible, remember what one serpent did to Eve.
Right.
Okay. You know, Satan disguised himself as a serpent, telling her to eat out of the tree of life, which God forbidden, to do. She ate it, and then she went on to Adam and persuade him to do the same thing. And you know the effect of that. So if one serpent do that to Eve, what are you doing dancing with a snake anyway?
Because you may want that same thing that she wanted. Remember, she wanted to be smart. She wanted the knowledge. She wanted to know more. She wanted to be in control, right? What
Right.
was the reason? What made her, even though the creator said don't do it, Adam knew Adam had already told her not to do it either. What made you think, well, why she do it? What makes you think why? What would be the reason?
Even I can hear the serpent now. I wish sometimes they could remake this stuff and put it on movies. It'll be important for people to see how this transpired. People that don't want to read, because I can hear the serpent now. Hey Eve, psst, 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 come here.
You stupid.
Hey, listen, how you doing? Dang, girl, you fine. How you doing? Good. Where your husband at? Are you over there? Hey, listen, man, I was watching you from over there. Hey, I know you was told not to eat off this tree. I know your man told you. I know that man and God told you. However, listen, you get off that tree, you think you fine now? You think you smart now? Ooh, girl, wait. Hey, get it? And you need to bite off of it and let him bite off of it too, girl. Don't act like that. Hey, listen, just take a bite of it real quick. Because all he trying to do is he hating on y'all. He know y'all gonna be smarter than him. So go ahead and bite. She takes a bite and she calls a man over. And I can hear her. Hey, Adam. Hey, you want some of this fruit? He didn't ask her where it was from. He said, okay. He bit into it, and when he did, that's when he lost dominion. That's when the fish went to the bottom of the water. That's when the lion started to roar. That's when the birds flew up in the trees. Right?
You know, it's so hard to imagine, because remember, most of this took place before we even knew good and evil. So right. I can't even imagine. Yeah, it's so hard to think about it, because that was before. Before, you know, right now we're in our intellectual minds, and we feeling, right? We feeling what's going on, and today's time we see how things are moving. But can you just even imagine, before we even knew good and evil, how things? Oh God, and we gave it up. Oh, Lord have mercy. But anyway,
yep, God gave you everything, and you threw it away.
You know, look at this whole story about, you know, Adam and Eve. I mean, I'm talking about this whole story, scenario by scenario. Doesn't this remind you of everything we see today, right now, when it comes to men and women?
Absolutely.
I mean, think about it. You say Eve wanted to be smart and controlling, but then we're seeing that from the women today, you know, right now. And then Adam mess around and let her persuade him to eat the apple, where he was supposed to be the man, and Adam knew it was forbidden, but he let her persuade him. Does this also remind you of something we see today from men as well?
Yeah, but guess what? But what if, this is sounding so crazy, but what if Adam didn't know at that time the apple that she had eaten was, I'm saying apple, but you know, the fruit wasn't forbidden. So, you know, he could have maybe still been under the premise that she had not done something incorrect. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Right.
Absolutely.
And
we don't really know. I mean, you know, it says we follow, but
yeah, right. And you know what, security boss, you took it here, and I might as well go on and lead us on in there through it.
Don't lead us down the hill. What did I do?
I don't think what you just said is spot on. I think that he didn't know that was the fruit. I think he was expected to know, but he didn't. And so, but I will say, I don't think the serpent. I think that everything in the Bible is a metaphor. And I don't think the serpent was a snake. I think the serpent was Satan himself. I think it was Lucifer himself. Exactly. And I think that he seduced and slept with Eve. That's what I believe.
Oh, Lord, you went too far. But listen, hold on for a minute.
We'll talk about.
Wait a minute, because no, that doesn't. Okay, but wait a minute. BOLO, is that you down there? Give us a sign, because I don't see your. Let me know if that's you, so we can get you up. Oh, it's you. Did I hear your voice? Okay, I got you.
This me, security boss.
Don't stop it, black man. You listen, you're gonna get us all tripped up. Next time we're gonna see is a big booty.
Oh my God.
We know we derailed what you was getting ready to say, but go ahead and tell us what you were getting ready to say. I'm sorry about that.
No, what I was going to say was, I think that he actually slept with her.
We don't want to hear that. We're talking to Dr. Steele right now.
Oh, go ahead, Dr. Steele. My bad. Go ahead, Dr. Steele.
Okay. I was watching this video, and this is what I was thinking. Everybody wants validation. Everybody wants validation. And everybody's willing to pay the price in order to be validated. But I think what most people forgot to do is to ask themselves, is the price is right? And what that means is, if you listen to somebody, okay, you're using your own common sense, you're using your critical thinking when you're listening. Does it really resonate with you? The thing about your men calling women trash, yeah, it is very disrespectful. And you need to tell the truth, but you also need to be respectful when you're also telling the truth. Because if you just disrespectful, and I've learned this from being a teacher, if if you're telling the truth with emotion and disrespect, people are not going to listen to you.
Not at all.
Not. So the thing about men calling women trash, I'm sure some women will not listen to that. Yeah, they may think about how they're going to improve themselves, but I'm sure they will not listen. But the weird thing is, there are some women, who do take this, disrespect, and so they still want to try to get their validation, which means they're willing to pay a certain price. But sometimes, the price may be just too expensive, so to say. Okay. In other words, are they going to pay? Are they going to pay? What their parents have taught them, to get that validation? Are they going to pay with their principles or what have you? That's something people have to think about. For example, there are a lot of women. Well, there are some women, who like bad boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you something. If I listen to this woman, right, and I think to myself, do I want to be a bad boy? Because that's against what I believe in. And I say no, hell no. Okay. So the thing to do is, the price is too expensive to me. I'm not going to try to align myself with them.
Right.
Okay. The price has, if you're going to pay the price, make sure the price is right.
I
That's
agree with
basically what I want to say.
I agree with you too, because remember though, because that's for women, it's a big thing that men treat us appropriately or treat us like wives. No woman, I don't wish a bad marriage on any woman. I don't wish a bad man on any woman, or vice versa. But it's, we all, one of the major things we always hear about is all men cheat,
Mhm.
all men, it's that's like the number one thing, and it's like, okay, listen, guys, not all men cheat, not all men are bad. There are some men that are really good and they want to treat you good, but we gotta be what we're looking for. We can't be the angry woman. We can't be the woman with the ego.
Exactly.
We can't be the woman with full of pride. We got to have patience. If I'm wanting a man to love me, I have to display those things in me so he can actually see it. That's what y'all saying y'all want to see. Y'all want to see that kindness. Y'all want to see that woman that is not self-seeking. We don't want, I heard a woman the other day and I was glad she said it. But it was real. She took account for that thing. She said, you know what? Back in the day when I was younger, I was real selfish. I know it now. But she didn't realize she was still selfish. But she recognized that she was she
Right.
recognized. So in other words, she's working on herself, but she hadn't gotten there yet. But just even in her tone, you could tell that, oh, this was going to be a good one right here. Be careful. But she recognized that she was selfish. That was like a major thing. So I was like, okay. And then when women, oftentimes we talk about, we want the $30,000 ring, we want the, we talked about this before. I had a whole show about, what did we call it? It was options. No, it was, gosh, I forgot what we called it. But either way, it's all self-seeking. It's all about us, and that's not what we can't show men that if we want men to love us. If we want you guys to love us, to be about the marriage, to become one with us, we have to come trauma-free, trauma-free, and we have to make sure that it's about the marriage and nothing supersedes that relationship.
Absolutely.
Right.
And the blueprint that Christ has given us on how this marriage should be. Bolo, can you hear me? Mm-mm.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah,
can hear me?
I can hear you.
We can hear you, Bolo.
Oh,
No,
oh,
you
thank
can.
you guys. What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? Can you hear me?
Yep. Good.
Can you hear me?
Your signal's going in and out, Bolo. Not now, and not at
Am
all.
I coming in?
Yes.
You can't hear me at all?
Yeah, I can hear you sometime. In and out.
Okay. So, okay. I don't know. I'm struggling streaming here, man. So, what you guys have been dropping has been fire. Nothing but fire. You know, we have to understand that, you know, something that Dr. Steele said that is so important. Truth given without love is a weapon. We have to understand that there has to be a connection between you and that person for them to receive this truth that you're giving them,
right,
in its entirety, not partially, in its entirety. There has to be some type of connection, right? This is why the village was so important, because I didn't need to directly know black man, but I knew black man's children was in my community. We looked out for each other. We all had eyes on each other's children, and that's lost, right? So when we're talking about Adam and Eve, right? You guys touched on that. Eve was beguiled, right? She was beguiled. She was tricked. The serpent, and you know, again, Adam should have checked it, but he didn't. He didn't check it, and we reap the benefits of all of those things that wasn't checked back then. That's happening now. What was given to Eve was information. That's what was given to her. Mm-hmm. She wanted to be equal. Mm-hmm. And that's what Satan gave her. He said that you will not die, but you will be like a God. You will be like God. You will know both good and evil. And that felt good to her. This is what's being taught now. Women being equal. Not in creation, but in duty, right? Because we all know that men and women created equal when it comes to creation. God loves us the same way he loves women, right? But when it comes to duty, when it comes to doing what we have to do, we are not made equal at all, right? So God loves the eagle as much as he loves the mouse. He loves them both. They're his creation, but he created the eagle to eat the mouse. So we have to understand that everyone has a position. Everyone has a position. And when we go outside of that position, this is where things get out of whack. And it looks like this. So when we're talking about women picking wrong or men picking wrong, but it's about women now. So let's deal with the women portion of it. Women are off the chain today, and men just don't want to deal, you know. Now, but here's the question now, you know, what I'm looking for? What kind of man are you? What vibe are you pushing out? Because we all know that your vibe attracts tribe. The type of woman you are is the type of man you're going to receive. It just is what it is. Change that. You know, women want the authority of a man. They want the privileges of a woman and the accountability of a child. You have to pick.
Ooh,
you can't have all three.
You preaching.
Wait a minute.
Right.
I ain't never heard that before. Say it again. We want the what? Say it again.
The authority of a man. They want the privileges of a woman and the accountability of a child. So let's go into all of those things. They want the authority of a man. They want to be called equal. They want the privileges of a woman. When you slap me and I slap you back, you say, no, you ain't supposed to slap me. I'm a woman. And then when it comes to you messing up or doing something and take accountability, no, you guys want to be treated as a child. You don't want to take the accountability and the responsibility of what you do. It doesn't work that way. And it all starts with are as a person and your connection, right? Because we have to understand that when I marry a woman, our goal is to serve the Father. We're doing it together. The marriage isn't about you and I. And this is a big problem. You know, when man and women get together, when you make your relationship just about you, you've hit the ceiling. Your patience is not there, right? So if a woman is dealing with me and I'm, it's just about us two, then my patience is the patience of a man. My patience, my forgiveness is the forgiveness of a man. My tolerance is the tolerance of a man. The forgiveness of a man. So man's tolerance and man's forgiveness is only going to go so far. This is why our Lord and Savior had to die, because his forgiveness and his tolerance and his patience is everlasting. So this is why we strive to be like him. And this is what people don't get and what understand, right? Me is to be like my Father, to be like my Lord and Savior. And we have to understand it. And that's the same thing with her. Her connection to Father supersedes her connection to me. So let me frame this. Let me kind of frame it. Before I'm a husband, before I'm a father, I'm a man of God. And what we have to understand is a man of God flows through all those things, because some men are not going to be fathers, some men are not going to be husbands. But the one thing you're going to always be is a man of God. Same thing for women. Some women are not going to be mothers, some women are not going to be wives. But the one thing you're always going to be is a woman of God. And when you're a woman of God, God is going to match your fly. It just has it. The Lord is not going to match a good woman with a bad man, nor a bad man with a good woman. It doesn't work that way. He's not going to give his daughter to a dude that's going to derail her. You're out of your mind. Just like he's not going to give his son to a woman that's going to derail her. We've seen that happen with Eve. It's not going to happen. This time around, he's not playing, because this time around, he's checking your spirit. Absolutely. So we spend more time, checking our credit. We spend more time in buying a car than we spend trying to get a spouse. Sitting down and actually having a conversation, actually putting them in situations to see how they're going to react and respond. Really getting to know this person whom you're going to spend the rest of your life with, potentially, right? Who you're going to let enter you. These things, in this world that we're working with, this world has taken all these pillars and put them to the back and said, nah, these things ain't that good. We're to the point where you're letting men penetrate you. And you have to understand that every time a man sleeps with a woman or a woman sleeps with a man, there is a spiritual imprint that's left.
Definitely.
So your focus is physical. You're going to always chase that high that you had with that first dude. Same like a crackhead. Same as a crackhead. You're always chasing that high. So you're always comparing the dude before to the dude that you have. Right. You're always doing that. Right? We waste so much time. I was watching a YouTube video, and the guy said when he was in jail, they have paperwork where they have like little meetings where they deal with the paperwork and the crimes that they committed. He said the crime that you committed took 23 seconds, and you're in here 35 years. Wow. The math don't add up. Wow. Climaxes last 35 to a minute, 35 seconds to a minute, and we're searching for that so hard, opposed to looking for the spiritual and the mental. Now, I understand the physical is something that is important, but it's not everlasting. It doesn't last. It does not last. It's an introduction. It's very important. But what we need to be searching for is that mental connection, that spiritual connection. Can I have a conversation with you after I climax?
How about before?
Keep you around?
How about before?
If you ever seen 40-Year-Old Virgin, before the guy went out on a date, he said, "You've been going out with the gun loaded. You got to let it loose," because men typically start to think clearer post climax.
Right.
That's when you go, damn, I slept with this chick that looked like damn Mumra from the Thundercats. But see, when you're horny, you're not.
Bolo,
you know what I'm saying?
What's up, Bolo?
Let me say hello to Brittany. and Hink. And let me get Brittany in on this. Brittany was saying something. Go ahead. Go ahead, Brittany.
Oh, hi
Hey,
everybody.
how are you?
Hey, Bolo. Hey, Eugene. Nice seeing you
Hey.
again. Hey, Black Man. Hey,
What's up, Shook?
hi, Security Boss.
Hello, Brittany.
And Mr. Boss. I really wanted to jump in on the men aligning with men that call you trash or whatever. They're not calling you trash. They're calling behavior trash.
Right.
And like I said before, that like you basically said everything that I basically want to say, because everybody knows me, knows what space I'm in. So a lot of times if it don't apply, let it fly. And you have to be able to have a healthy mind and not see yourself in what people are saying. And I talked about this morning on my channel. But yeah, a lot of times like women can't hold women accountable because I see me and you. So if I correct you, that means I have to correct myself. And if I'm not ready to correct myself yet, then girl, come on, let's just keep doing it. Let's keep on rolling until I feel like we want to level up. And then by that time, you won't even be able to hang out with her no more. You have to move to a different group because they always going to hold you behind because they might be still doing the same thing that we were doing. And so when I try to change, you bring me down and say, girl, we was just doing that last year. And they're like, well, I ain't doing that no more. So you can't correct them. So you got to find another group to hang out with. So that's how you move on and elevate. But yeah, if it don't apply, let it fly. But even for that to happen, I mentioned you have to be accountable, Security Boss. Like you said, once you take accountability for the things that you were doing and the behavior that you may have had, it's freeing. So now you can't say nothing to me. I'm already good with what was done. So nothing you say to me is shaming because I've already, taken accountability for my actions. So now what? So now when you talk about something that I may have or was doing, it don't apply to me no more because I'm not doing that. So I don't have to defend it. And so a lot of times you see women defend behavior that either one, they shouldn't even be defending or they're still doing. That's why they have to defend it.
Right. Oh, that's why it upsets them so much. But let me add something to what you said, Brittany, because something I found too, because even before YouTube, I used to try to talk to women and younger women, and I was women, period. Women don't listen. They don't want to hear what you said. They actually will argue with you. So when I first came to YouTube, I realized that. So I always told, well, me and Mr. Boss came to the conclusion it would be best that you would actually say or kind of sort of warn men on women's behavior versus arguing and going back and forth with a woman. So, hey Q, how are you? So for me, one of the things that I found best to do, because the reason why I say this, well, let me get through my thought. One thing I found best to do is to warn men on how to protect themselves from women, because a lot of times women don't see themselves. So even though, because they'll do it, they'll say stuff like this. I'm doing it in the name of the sisterhood.
Can I jump in real quick? They can't see themselves because I'm surrounded with myself. So
I agree.
I am seeing myself, but I'm seeing myself because we're all doing the same thing. It's not until you step out and you get around a security boss and then that's shaming. I might not say it out loud, but when you say something to me, now it's like you're looking at me, but I was looking at me looking like other people. So now when you look at me differently, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't think it looked like that. And instead of looking at it like I should do something, it's more I'm defending my behavior because in my mind, I haven't made it a bad behavior yet. I'm still thinking it's the norm because who I was surrounded with and the things I'm surrounded by, it's the norm. It's the things we do. What's wrong with it? I don't see anything wrong with it until I get outside of the circle. And then I'm like, oh, snap, unless you're aware enough to be like, oh, snap, that was bad. But, like I said, in these spaces, stuff hit you so hard. A lot of times you can't get that full thought out for you to self change. So, I mean, we all know like there are spaces where you can grow and there's some spaces where you just get hit with a whole bunch of information or a whole bunch of shaming tactics and stuff like that. That's why you see me, or you used to see me, just sit back. I used to just sit back and listen. So now I don't listen no more because I just wanted to see behavior, but that was something else I was doing. But again, when when it comes to some of these spaces and women are being defensive, it's because when you are talking, they see themselves in your words and they haven't changed that behavior yet. So
A hit dog will holler.
Yeah.
But to add to that, though, Brittany, I still think that we need more examples because women need to see something different. We need to see, there needs to be examples of how it should be, or another way to do it. I should say it that way. And the example I always give is putting your money in one pot. I always give that as an example because women go crazy. A lot of women just be like, I cannot believe she said that. She would put all her money in one pot. See, that seems to be an extreme, but it's an extreme only because you won't embrace it or you won't do it.
But
it's just actually,
we're talking about marriage, SB. I'm talking about just normal before we even get to that stage, the changing to get there. People can't change to be a wife because they're still behaving not like a wife, thinking that this behavior is okay because it's normalized and other people accept it. That's why whoever said the simps need to go, I was in the car when they said that, unless I was, oh no, wait, was that another show?
No, somebody said we need to get rid of, Chaotic said we got to get rid of it.
Because it's sometimes it's behaviors that are allowed, and then other people who are doing those behaviors are saying, oh, look, over there it's okay. So I guess it's okay. So I can get away with it too, until you get around somebody else and they're like, oh, we don't do that over here.
But women are not going to accept anything from their equivalents. It's got to be somebody. That's why I keep saying we need examples. Like if you're willing to be an example, you got to be that, because a woman is not going to accept something from her equivalent. If you have no more, you can't tell a woman that's in your same position anything because they're not going to listen to you.
Wow.
A woman, I'm telling,
it's like climbing a mountain.
That's what I said.
No,
they bring you down because we was just doing that last year. So I can't tell you something because all you're going to do is use the fact that we was just doing it together, and now I can't say nothing to you. So it's my job to elevate and move to a group where we all do new things together. And so now it's almost as if like how they do you. You're looking down on us and you're shaming us and you're condescending. No, your behavior just ain't cool, but it ain't till you notice that it ain't cool no more that you're going to realize that's not cool. And so that's why they don't listen, and that's why I don't talk to them either.
And security
Brittany, everything you said was on point. You do have to tell them that, yeah, what you're doing is off. Because if I hang out with 11 broke people, sooner or later I'll become a 12.
Come on.
So when they ask me, when they say, Bolo, why'd you leave? Because y'all was broke. That's why.
Yeah.
See, truth is going to make you free. It's not going to set you free. It's going to make you free. There's a difference because people quote that scripture wrong. And the difference is when I give you truth, now freedom doesn't always mean a good thing. Once I tell Brittany B, yo, check this out, Brittany B, you got to do something about A, B, and C. That's your truth. Now, if you choose to ignore and choose to continue walking left, you're free and walking in left. Or you're free and doing what you need to do to elevate yourself. So we have to start calling a black cat a black cat. We have to stop sparing people's feelings because that's not helping them. That's hurting them.
Exactly.
So if someone's breath stink, we need to tell them your breath stink, my G. Now it goes back to still. If you have that relationship with that person, I can pull you to the side and say, yo, my G, check this out. Your breath smells like 10 dead deer. But if I don't have that relationship with you, it's gonna be kind of hard to convey that message. But we need to start calling a spade because the only thing you have to lose here is your life. This is what we need to start understanding. Your life is at stake. And if you don't warn that person and you know better, their blood is on your hands.
That's true.
Bolo.
You know what, security boss, and real quick, I was just sitting up here when we talked about the trash part. I didn't get a chance to touch on that earlier, but I was just looking here at the definition of trash. I know what it is, but I need to get a little deeper. It says
nobody wants
trash is discarded. It's something that's refused. People that refuse to have it. It says and then it goes to number 2. It says a person or people regarded as being of very low social standing.
Wow.
troublemakers, damage, or wrecked.
They have They have people in the definition of trash.
Absolutely.
Woo, wait a minute. What are you? Is this the Urban Dictionary? What are you
No,
reading?
ma'am. I
What is
am
it?
reading, guys. If you want this, you can go to the Oxford Dictionary. It's in Oxford languages. You can go to your Google and type in trash and hit enter, and you'll see it. It says a North American Oxford Language Dictionary. It says discarded matter or to refuse a person or people regarded as being a very low social standing, damaged or wrecked people, and people who are criticized severely for their behavior.
Wow, that is big. Let me, Hank. Let's see what you got to add to this, sir. How are you?
Uh-oh.
How you doing, security boss?
I'm doing well, sir.
Security boss, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Well, let me make a statement. It's not even a question. Do you don't realize that iPhones are trash? Do you agree with that?
That iPhones?
Yeah, iPhones.
I would say iPhones are trash. Yeah.
Right, let's put that in that goddamn definition for you ain't shit.
Hey, that was for you. That was for you.
Hank.
Nah, man.
Oh,
It's I don't know, man. I mean, like Bolo said, you got to just be straight up honest with them, and so that's what I do. I mean, if you trash, you trash. There's nothing you can do about it. You got to accept it what it is. I think you trash. You don't think you are, then move as such. I'm gonna treat you as such. If I feel like you a hoe, I'm gonna treat you like a hoe. If you act like a lady, I'm gonna treat you like a lady. You know what I mean? And that's just how I move. Is how I deal with people. You got some.
Hank?
that ain't nothing but the devil.
That was trash internet right there.
Ah!
Hey, that's
Wow.
that Android right there. That's
How in the world did you talk about she blocking us all?
Hey, how
Imagine
you
what
talking to me? We iPhone, team iPhone.
You know,
No,
your
I'm
vibe,
Android all day.
your vibe attracts the tribe.
That
So
was a-
you know, your worth. If you don't know what your worth is, because you can tell a lot by the way a person speaks, the way a person's in a relationship. You can tell a lot, right? When you see a woman in a relationship with a man that is just for the streets, right? Off in every way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I blame her because she doesn't know what her worth is. Because if she knew what her worth is, it would show forth in her standard.
Yeah.
So she's picking what she thinks she's worth. It's like if you have a diamond that's worth $100 million and a diamond that's worth 10,000. The only way you're going to learn that diamond is worth 100 million is if you do the clarity test, you find out where its origin, you do all these different tests. So now when you put it on the market, you're taking no shorts, nothing. And this is what we're supposed to do. So when a woman knows her standard, when she's did the work, and she's going to learn, life is meant to be lived forward and understand backward. Typically, we don't understand things as we're going through it. We typically learn after we've gone through it, after we tripped. That's when we learn where we should have ducked, right? So when she learns the mistakes that she's learned from the past, she got with the Pookie and Ray Ray and had a baby. Now she says, you know what? I'm going to have to slow things down.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And start showing what my worth is in my standard and be patient. This is what a lot of us are not. We're not patient. We don't wait for that man or that woman to come. We start picking what we want opposed to what we need, when it should be us picking what we need, because what you need is going to multiply you. What you need is going to cover you. You picking what you want, that chick that got a fat behind, or she picking what she want, that dude that got the bread, all he's going to use is his bread. That's as deep as it goes. So women need to start taking accountability and stop blaming the world, because men can't blame the world. There's no excuse for men. Society's a weak excuse for men. We're expected from the age of 3 to go pay bills. You have mothers telling your kid at 6, you the man of the house, and he's 6. My man don't even know how to tie his shoelaces yet, but the thought process is hammered into him that you're the man of the house because the father ain't here. So exactly, we allow these women to be pandered and treated like children when they're not. They need to start accountability, responsibility.
Bolo, wait a minute. Bolo, you just made history. Wait, I can't believe
What's that?
I thought for a second I was in a dream when I heard you say that you pander. Wait, hold on just a second. It's, Mr. Boss, I want you to get this. I want you to get this sound effect for me. Okay, listen. Say that again, Bolo. You said about the pandering. Go ahead, brother. Because I ain't never heard you talk like this.
Of
Go
course,
ahead.
because today we're talking. You see you. You see you.
I love you, man. I love you.
No, it's true.
I love you,
Oh,
bro.
God, y'all are something else. Let me add to this. Bolo said the same.
And Hink was speaking.
Bolo said the same thing in his own way, because I said the women, we have to be more accountable. We got to be more accountable. We have to self-reflect, and then we have to stop and sit in it. And he said you got to be accountable. What was your second one, Bolo? And you said patient.
I call it the AAA. It's acknowledgement, acceptance, and application. Acknowledgement, knowing that you are the reason why you are where you are. Acceptance, knowing that there's ramifications for the decisions that you make. And in between acknowledgement and acceptance is the growing curve. And when you learn what you need to learn in between the two, you now take what you learn and you add it for application.
There you go. We gotta sit in it. I like that. I really do. And I really, really like this authority, privilege, and accountability. That was a good one. That was really good. But Bolo, hold on one second. Hink, you got cut off by the iPhone gods, but I think you're back now, and we're ready to hear anything you have to say.
Yeah, the iPhone guys that came and got me. The hell with them son of bitches. They ain't no damn good.
But we're back now. We're back. Go ahead. What you got to say, sir?
Now, I forgot where I left off because you bad thing, but I kept security boss. I kept talking. I thought I was cooking.
No, look, we was like,
I said, God, no. I said, boy,
You left off. Hink, you left off where you said that you treat them how you treat them. However they present themselves is how you treat them. That's where you left off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about if the women act like ladies, you know what I'm saying, I'll treat them as such. But if the hoes act like hoes, then I'm treating them like hoes. That's what you need to do. You move as a corner. You got to categorize people. You put people in categories. That's the way it is. Like, there's some trash dudes out here. I just don't mess with them unless they showing signs of they want to change or do something different. All right, now I got some sympathy for you. Now I got some love for you. Let's have a conversation. Let me see what I can do to help you get over that hump that you're trying to get through. You know, get over that mountain or get through that wall. You know what I'm saying? To get around it or over it, whatever you need to do. I'm there for you. But if you ain't about your business, don't even waste your conversation with me. Because I'm not gonna waste my time. My time's too goddamn valuable.
Yeah. Oh, that was good.
That's right, Hink. Nice
That was
to see
real
you.
good.
I'm
So
just here
that's
for
good.
Brittany. That's scary boss. I'm just here for Brittany.
Well, Brittany, he just here for you. He just here
That's
for
my
you.
buddy. That's my buddy.
Wow, that was good. Y'all have come up with some. Yeah, I mean, good. So, Brittany, you're the only woman here right now.
Oh yeah.
We know what we got.
Let's hold them women accountable, security boss. Let's go.
Okay, so listen, I hold everybody accountable. So I just can't be just on the women. I got to be on the men too, because when I see something that ain't right, it ain't right.
I thought you was an advocate for men.
I do advocate for men. I advocate for men by telling them what's wrong. That's the best advocation in the world. If I tell a man, look, you keep walking down the street, you're gonna fall off that cliff. You can't get no more advocation than that. I just told you what was ahead. Now, if I stand back and just let you keep walking because you're a man, then I was wrong because I already knew what was there.
True.
See, Bolo just said that a minute ago. Bolo just said, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Wouldn't that still just be like men being raised by single mothers?
I don't understand your point.
Okay.
No, tell me your point. I mean, I don't understand. Make me understand.
I think sometimes that type of advice needs to come from a man. Other than that, me telling them is just like being raised by a single mother, which is the problem that we have now. So the advice is still coming from feminine energy.
No, listen. A woman knows.
Listen.
We know women. I know women better than men know women. If I know a woman, if I can tell a man this, if other men in these spaces, we're going to deal with these spaces. If other men are telling men or giving them a thought that you can go have random sex because the woman has 32 ways to get rid of a child. If men are, this is what men are telling men, And that's what they want them to carry in their life. These women, they're sexually irresponsible. They got 32 ways to prevent having a baby. So if they have a baby, it's on them. That is a terrible message.
Yeah, so your message should be to women to say close your legs, since that's the message men are telling men.
No, see, that doesn't make sense to me. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why it don't make sense. Because we're talking about two irresponsible people.
Right. So your job should be to focus on me, not them.
No, my job is to focus on both of them.
But
My
then
job is
Can I add to this? Can I add to
Yes,
this?
let me finish this thought. My job is to tell the man, protect yourself, because guess what? Once this irresponsible woman has this baby, and we're talking about people that don't listen. Once she's had it, now you're responsible for it. And that's never what he wanted. He just wanted to bust it down. He didn't want to marry this woman. He didn't want to carry this baby. He didn't want to take care of this baby. He didn't want any part of that. He just wanted to bust it down.
So,
and he's expecting her to look out for him.
So I'll give you a pass only because your channel is filled with a lot of more men than it is irresponsible women. So I'll give you that, because in that situation,
Wait a minute, hold on for a minute. You go give me a pass. What do you mean by that? That doesn't sound right to me. To help me out with that. Help me understand
how many women over here come security boss.
We have men, let me get done. We have men that are in child support court, that are in the system.
My Lord.
That don't want to be there.
I know that's right.
By women, right?
By
women like you and me. So you would think to tell us not to do that, not to tell them.
Okay, so you're missing the okay.
But Brittany, you can't tell women shit.
So that's my point. That means that
But Brittany, why try to tell somebody who's not going to listen?
Because
go
that's
to the individual that will listen. Just like I was just sitting there saying, just like I was sitting there saying, if a dude shows me he's going to change, then I'm gonna deal with him. If he's not, I'm gonna move my ass on.
Yeah.
Find somebody else who wants to listen, who wants to take some advice, who's willing to learn and willing to change. Women are not trying to do it right now.
So
let me add this to
hold them accountable.
You said what?
Let me add this to.
Oh my God! The something's in the damn chat.
Yeah, you can hold them accountable. Don't mean they gonna listen.
That's the problem here. They don't listen. They don't listen.
Can I add this to it? Let me add this to it.
And Emil said I was brainwashed. I don't know how.
I think we're getting
disobedient women either.
I think what we're doing. I think what's happening here is we're missing the point in what SB is saying. Let me give you an example. First off, we have to understand that our job is not to convert nobody. My job is to give you the information, and what you do with it is what you do with it. That's just my job. I don't convert you. The scriptures tell you, man planteth, the man watereth, but it's God that gives the increase. He's the one that changes you, right? So if I'm a crackhead and I see Hank about to take a pull from a crack pipe, and I tell Hank, don't pull from that crack, it's not going to be good for you. But then I smoke the crack. Is the advice that I gave Hank wrong?
That's why I said I'm going to give security boss a pass, because there is not a lot of misbehaved women over here.
Follow me.
Most of the women over here are
follow me.
Married. The men are the ones that she's to. So she can give the advice to the men, but she's not having a whole bunch of behavior over here. That was my point.
Listen to me. I understand your point, but I want you to follow me. If I'm a crackhead and Hank is about to pull from a crack pipe and I tell him don't do it, and then I smoke from it, should Hank take the advice that I just gave him?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I was.
I said if I'm a crackhead and I smoke crack,
right,
and Hank is about to take a pull from a crack pipe, and I tell Hank don't do it, it ain't good for you, and then I pull from that same crack pipe I told him not to smoke, is the advice that I gave him wrong?
No, it's not. Actually, you're preventing him from being in a position you're in.
If I do the same thing with the woman, you're about to smoke a crack pipe, and I say, Brittany B, do not pull from this crack pipe, and I smoke, is the advice that I gave you wrong?
No, it's not wrong.
So then, okay, so now,
so you guys, so that's why I said I said what I said as far as given a pass.
No,
because
I understand
there's
what
a lot
you're
of
saying.
women over here.
Wait,
There's how many tyrannies do you have coming up on your panel,
no,
security
hold
boss?
on, wait, hold
How
on.
many people
I'm
do you
going to
have
answer
to
you.
come up here to
I'm
give
going to
them that
answer you.
type of advice? That was my
Brittany,
point.
I'm going to. No, I understand your point. What I'm saying is we have to understand that truth supersedes everything. It doesn't matter if you're a woman giving the truth or if you're a man giving the truth. Truth is truth. It doesn't care about your relationship. It doesn't care about your age. It doesn't care about your race. Truth is truth. So whoever gives it, it is still truth.
I
So
get it.
regardless of whether they have 8 women in here and 100 men, or 100 men and 1 woman, someone hears the words of the Lord that's coming from this woman's mouth, the same as you, and it's not going to return back void. So even if it's just 1 woman or 1 man she helps, or 1 woman she helps, she did her job. That's the point of it. The point of it is I'm not going to get locked into just helping men when the Lord tells me to help everybody.
True. But
That's,
that wasn't
you
my
understand
point.
what I'm saying? So, when she
That
says
wasn't
that
my
she's
point, Bolo. We can let it go.
Michi, can
Okay.
you give us a peace sign really quick so we
I
can
love
see who
you,
you
Bolo.
are?
That's not my point.
Okay, Brittany.
And you know
Okay,
what?
darling.
I would also like to invite up here We on Lock Nation. He has a very great perspective in the
We
defense.
don't want to invite anybody that doesn't want to come up here now.
Right.
If he
Okay,
wants,
And that was
never
my.
mind.
That's another
Never mind.
point.
He ain't gonna come then. Let him troll.
what'd you say, Brittany? Say it
That
again.
that's another point. Like I said, I I learn as I talk. I learn as I talk, and I understand that there's more men that come over to your space and cam up so you can talk to them than misbehaved women. So you can't give them the stay away and don't do that advice like you do when the men come up and cam up and tell you situations. Women don't do that over here, do they?
Women don't do. Do women do? Well,
Do they, security boss? Yes
I
or
hear that
no?
they do. I hear that they do that other places. I was giving. I don't know that women come up on platforms misbehaving or not at all. But no, when women come up on our platform, they typically not are misbehaving. But it doesn't mean they still have it all together. They still might have a torn or divided mindset on what is right and what is not, because they still blame the men. So they're not misbehaving, but they still blame men for getting pregnant. That's not right.
That's weird.
I mean, I tell them all the time. I say it all the time. Women always say, this man got me pregnant, instead of saying, I laid down and screwed this man. I say that all the time. That's like an intro for me. So even though they're not misbehaving, they still say things like that. But, they still say things like that. And that's not right, because you laid down and had sex with a man. I just think both parties are responsible, but it all depends on what the question is being asked. If you're saying who is more sexually immature or who is out of order, I would definitely say the woman, because she does have 32 ways to prevent having a baby. But when you look at the systems and how these men are giving away their power, I would say to a man, don't give away your power. You ain't even got to have sex with this woman. Be more selective. And that's the more powerful message, because no man has to have a sex with this particular woman. So that's who I am. Because again, I want everybody to be married. And if somebody's out there just to have a baby, that's not, to become a single mom, I'm just supposed to have incentives. That's not what these women don't care about these men. Women who do that don't care about men. They just want to do what they want to do, because if they did, they would have protected themselves. So since they didn't, they're not the women you're going to talk to. They're not listening. They're not going to hear anything you say, because them the same women that have baby showers and don't have the baby daddy nowhere around, and they don't have any way of getting any help or anything. And I think that's terrible, because you got to do this all by yourself.
So let me ask you this, because then to me, when you separate the two women like that, then that's why we get categorized into the one pot of women. So if we're not talking to them,
I'm talking to the woman whoever the woman is presenting herself to me. If I don't want to call anybody's name, but I did an interview recently, and it came out what type of woman that she was. That woman I thought was listening to me, but I shortly found out that nothing I said made a difference to that woman. So I never have to have that conversation with that woman again.
So you leave her at the restaurant? Is that what I mean? Because I'm cool with that too. I'm just saying that's what we do. Okay, then that's okay. Because to me, I feel like that would be the message too, to be like, okay, well, look, I mean.
But I decided to have the conversation because I was under the assumption that that's not what I want. You kind of get what I'm saying?
So here's my thing. The men who actually feel like that women should be more responsible because we have 32 contraceptions, why you want to talk to them about giving their power away? We should leave them at the restaurant too.
The only reason why I want to talk to them is because the only reason why I would talk to them, if those are those men, is because on the flip side of it, when they get into the system, they then rage, complain, can't take it, and they
at the restaurant too, security boss, because they obviously wasn't listening either. For them to even have that mindset, it's the same thing.
Well, then if that's the case, then let it be. But I think that right there, that ranges across a lot of more men than there are women.
Then that's their fault.
Oh, I agree with you. I definitely agree it's their fault.
Then that's what I'm saying. It's like you
different range of, but that's a different range of men, Brittany. That goes far. That goes much farther than the woman. There are women out there that will say, yeah, I realize I messed up and I did this. But the range of men that you're talking about that are in the child support system, those men, they will tell you all day long that they just, didn't intend to be in the system. So it seems to me that it's a different type of man. But there are some of those men that are the equivalent to the young lady that I spoke to earlier this week. So you're right about that. But sometimes it all, like I said again, it all depends on how they're presenting themselves to me.
Okay.
It all depends on how they present themselves to me.
So do you think the world will be a better place? This is for the fellas.
Restaurants would be full, I tell you that.
If the world would be a better place if everybody just told the straight out truth instead of baby caking everybody.
We just had that. I just had this conversation with B Rose the other day. She was lying. Stop lying. Stop lying.
So you saying that like men are lying to women or women lying to men? What we talking about? What we talking about?
My bad. Let me just stick to what Black Man said. Tell the truth.
Well, let me say this. You lie to these hoes. Let me say this. You lie to these goddamn hoes. They live in a goddamn lie. They walking in a lie. They acting in a lie. They carry a lie.
Yeah.
Why are you talking to them?
Lie to them.
Why wouldn't you tell them the truth? Why wouldn't you say it? Because they
hoes. I don't give a damn about a hoe.
Ooh.
I treat a hoe like a man should treat.
So Hink, slow down. So Brittany, that's
not a lie, Hink. That's the truth. That you treating them how they acting. That's not a lie.
And the hoes gonna get lies.
Okay, so let's slow down.
I would rather you tell me.
So Brittany, he just gave a good example.
My bad.
He gave a good example. He said the hoes are going to get lies, right?
I've never even heard you say hoe before, security boss. That's nice.
I'm just repeating. I'm
bringing it to the dark side. Don't worry. One step at a time.
Say it again, security. I can hear you.
So the hoes are going to get what they get, right? So, okay, so Hink was with a hoe. Now, Hink impregnated the hoe. And then now Hink thinks the hoe should get rid of the baby.
Come on, security boss.
We got the conundrum right here on who messed up. You get what I'm saying?
Both of them messed up because Hink already knew she was a hoe. You shouldn't have messed with her in the first place. That's my thing.
But the point,
absolutely.
Say, hey, you a hoe. I'm about to have you tonight. I might skeet inside you. If you get pregnant, you better get rid of it. That's the truth.
I agree with that.
You making love to no hoes and then she thinking she connected to you and having a baby and now she's proud because she your baby mama. Tell her the truth. Don't lie to me.
We on the same page. I agree. But don't let that man think that just because she was sexually irresponsible is her fault and not his. And it's his nature. Because he just got the screw a hoe.
So security boss, let me explain to me.
Well, first of all, you should have wrapped it up with a hoe. That's the truth.
If you don't mind. Security boss, you mind if I explain what I said?
Yes, sir. No, I don't mind.
Okay, thank you, man. The reason I say you lie to these hoes because they don't tell the truth.
Okay.
Most of these women right here don't lie. They live a lie. They walk in a lie. They act a lie. They got fake hair. That's a goddamn lie. You got them goddamn eyelash. That's a goddamn lie. You lie about what you really want to make, but you really don't know what you want to make.
Fake asses.
What you think you want. You really don't.
Yeah, fake breasts. Fake
Come
butt.
on, man.
Yeah, you
Weave
right.
is fake. The wigs are fake. You living a fake life. I know your ass is broke, sleeping on the goddamn floor. You ain't got a bed rail. You
Yep.
sleeping on a
I
damn
don't have a
dirt
bedroom.
ass mattress.
Yep.
Your kids ain't eating right. They eat McDonald's every day, instead of eating home cooked meal. You living a lie. But let you go out there and tell it, put it on Instagram. You live
Oh, there ain't nothing but the devil. Let me finish.
living a goddamn lie. So why should I waste my truth for a hoe? You never waste a truth
So
for a hoe.
hold on, let me ask you something.
And they take
Let me
yourself
finish
and
this.
with the
Let me-
damn air mattress on the floor. Go ahead,
Let me
Hank.
land the plane. Let me land the plane.
Land
I
it,
got a big
man.
ass plane. I got to bring it on in.
Bring it on.
Yes, I got plenty of packages on it. Let me land this son of a bitch.
I
But look
love
here.
it. I love it.
Hey, you don't waste your life, man. Don't waste your time on these hoes, man. Don't lie to them. You find that right woman that's gonna be there for you. You tell her the truth. You lay it all out on the line. You give her everything, and you don't hold nothing back. But them hoes, the hell with them.
Look, I don't even like to ask.
Can I-
Hold on. I
let
don't
me
like
say
to
this.
ask
Can I,
questions. Wait a minute, Bolo. Only
can I,
because
can I say something?
no, your breath stink. Anyway. Hey, you gotta tell the truth. You gotta tell the truth. No.
That's a real bad breath. She smelled all the way
This is the
through
only
the
thing.
internet.
Gotta tell
My
the
thing
truth.
is, if they are doing all of that,
Bad
and mind you, this is just hoes that we're talking about. Why not tell them the truth? It don't unless because the truth is the truth.
Absolutely.
My thing is, what would be your lie? Hey, girl,
Absolutely.
I like you. Let's hang out. That's why do that. Hey, let's
Let
fuck.
me give you an example of the one I'm
We
talking
don't like say hoes need a second chance.
Oh no, no.
Shit,
Hold
hoes
on.
gonna get
Security
a
boss.
first chance.
Security boss.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't do that. Absolutely.
Security
Hoes gonna
boss.
get first chances.
Listen,
At the end of the day,
Y'all confused.
Yeah, there goes Bolo phone, guys.
Listen, guys.
Look, man, listen, don't repeat.
no. Hold on. Wait. No, first off, and
They get a spiritual second chance.
let me say this, guys. Let me say this.
I will say that.
Let me say
Let the
this.
Lord
We have
give
to
you a second
understand that.
chance.
We have to understand because I understand. I understand that there's a lot of I understand the passion behind it. But what we have to understand is Christ is built on second chances, my G. Understand that. Mary Magdalene was supposed to be killed. He was supposed to be killed. So the people that are doing the accusations, how many skeletons do you have in your closet?
Bolo,
So we have to have that mirror consistently.
Bolo, you
Hold on. You won't have no skeletons if you don't lie.
Let me finish. It doesn't alleviate her from her acknowledgement and responsibility. But at the end of the day, it is not my job to condemn anybody because the scripture says the same way you judge is the same way you will be judged. So when you sit there and you make a conscious decision that you have the truth and I choose not to give it to Hink, I made a choice not to give it to Hink, knowing that Hink need it. But because of the way I see Hink living, I chose not to give. At the end of the day, the Lord's going to say, it's not your truth to hold. It belongs to me. You give it to everyone and let me deal with that man or that woman. And if she continues to be a H word, then cool. Then that's her future. If he continues to be a Pukireri, then cool. That's his future. It's not our choice to pick. The truth is the truth.
Let me knock it.
Real quick. But Bolo, Mary Magdalene said he told her to go and do no more. This young man said
and sin no more. But the point
he said a hoe need another, like as in she's still operating in the.
He won't count up.
But I could be wrong. I'm just reading the comment. I might be wrong with that.
But here's my thing.
Bolo, we went out.
What did he say? Who said that?
I said, Bolo, you went out. What?
But,
Can you hear me?
This is
Can
my
you hear me?
problem.
Can you repeat what you said now?
Me?
No,
I
she
didn't
was
hear
saying,
what
she was saying hoes
SB, what
that
you
need a
say?
second chance. But let me say this to you, Bolo. I hear what you're saying, and those are the people that was walking with Christ. But you tell me what man today that has, I'm not even talking about a high value man. I'm talking about a man that's just out working his ass off, making a good living. And you tell me any man that will go to that a woman can come to and say, you know what, I need a second chance at life. Listen, before in my 20s, I gave this coochie away.
You don't have to say all that, man. You
like
gotta watch what you
cheese
say.
at a commodity.
So my
And-
thing is, y'all be
and-
doing too much with y'all extremes. We're
No,
not gonna do
it's
that. No
not extreme.
woman that's actually
Okay,
changed.
Brittany
say
B,
all
Brittany
that
B,
stuff.
Brittany B, I
Hey,
hear what
did
you're
this stuff
saying.
before.
I hear what you're saying, but
look
this
at
is
my actions. Look what
Brittany
I'm
B, I
doing
hear
right
what you're
now.
saying, but this is real life. I know a man right now has been married for 5 years. 5 years in, his wife said, I fucked 30 niggas.
5 years in,
Yeah,
you're talking about doing
she
somebody
lied to
else's
him.
second.
She
We're not
lied to
talking
him.
about that. That's
Black
different.
man, slow down, y'all. Slow down.
She lied to him.
So
Now
that's
he-
not
now
even
he-
your
now he-
example. That's not even what you was talking about.
That's exactly what I'm
So,
talking
no,
about.
you said going to a man before and saying, "Hey,
No. I'm saying go to
and I
a man.
need a second chance."
Yeah.
As if I changed.
Right,
That's a different example.
Women,
That's
but
me
women,
being
women will
interested in
lie.
lying.
To,
That's
women
different.
will lie to get the second chance. That's what I'm trying to say right
And
now.
that's not what I'm talking about. And that's not even what we were talking about when it comes to being a hoe. If my past was a hoe and I changed,
That's not
and
what
then
she was
I
saying.
come
What she
to
was
a
saying
man.
is,
Go ahead.
Well,
Brittany, go
what
ahead.
this is the point. This is the point, black man. The point of the matter is this: everybody has a past, right? I don't know what your future. I don't know what you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You good?
Everyone has a past. Your future is. So whatever your future is going to be is what your future is going to be. That's going to be your walk. My job is to be the light and to be a watchtower on that beach that's dark. That's my job. Now, do I have my personal opinion on certain people? Maybe, but at the end of the day, that is not my personal opinion. Should not stop me from delivering the truth to you. Period. Because what you do with your life, inconsequential, doesn't affect me. So if she's gonna continue being a hoe or he's gonna continue being a Pookie Ray Ray, that don't affect me. But what does affect me is if I had that word and I didn't give it to them, and that word could have now given the Lord the chance because that seed was planted. If I chose not to plant that seed, now I got a problem.
You got a problem.
Okay, no, I get
Because
that.
the way it was given to me, all of us on this stage had a background, baby. All of us on this stage did some crazy stuff. And someone saw it in us to say, let me give you this truth. Someone saw it. Someone was patient. So who are we not to deliver it to the world the same way it was delivered to us?
That's why I said what I
So
said.
hold that thought for a minute. Bolo, hold that thought for a minute. Hink, I want to hear what Brittany got to say real quick, and then I'm gonna go to you, Hink, and then Bolo, hold that thought. Go ahead, Brittany.
Oh, I was just agreeing with Bolo.
Okay, go ahead, Hink.
That part. That's why I always said something about leaving everybody at the restaurant, which is cool. I get it. But I think sometimes, well, never mind. See,
No, go
learning
ahead.
while I'm talking.
Go ahead.
I'm learning while I'm talking. I change my mind. That's what I mean.
Okay, go ahead, Hink.
Brittany, I educate you. You keep hanging out. You keep hanging. I got you. No, but what I was saying, now look here. Not every woman's a hoe. We all know that. But I'm talking about the ones who act and move and go accordingly. You treat them as such. No, I'm not going to tell you the truth because you don't. What about you deserves the truth from me? What about you even has the right for me to even open my mouth and tell you the truth? You don't deserve that. I'm going to treat a lady like a lady. Now, I believe majority of women are ladies, but there's a lot of hoes out there.
Let me
Treat them as such. That's all you have to do. You adjust to that what you're dealing with. If I come across them, man, I ain't dealing with them hoes.
I got a question.
I ain't got time for it.
So
I'm gonna deal with a lady.
Hink, in that example, so this is what the whole stream is about in the first place. In that example, who are you giving the truth to? Because I don't need it if I'm a lady. So we're all withholding this truth and not giving it to the people who actually need it because we done left them at the restaurant. Now, I'm not advocating for sitting them down and all this other stuff, but I'm saying this is what this whole stream is about. Some of us who can, if it don't apply, let it fly, allow you guys to lash out and do all this other stuff. But the hoes that really need to hear this, they ain't even listening. So why even keep having these conversations then?
No, but
because if you're not trying to give it to them and they not even listening to the women that you keep coming down on and talking to, we're having to let it fly and all this other stuff. We actually just letting you vent. I guess that's what the manosphere was for in the first place. Never mind. Learn as I talk.
Brittany B, they listening. They listening. Them the ones on the platforms that's arguing with men every day.
But
Well,
the The ladies need to hear the truth too, because when I'm talking about telling them the truth, is being honest with them. Don't sugarcoat, don't bullshit them. Just be straight up on
But I'm a lady. What you being honest with me about? If I'm the one that's a lady, the ones that you lying to is the one that need the truth.
No. The ones I'm lying to, I don't have nothing to do with. I don't have nothing to do with you. First things first, I'm not going to leave with my money. So I'm not going to go come in and show you everything I have. If I got a Benz, I'm not going to roll up in a Benz. I'm going to roll up in my work truck. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully you accept me for who I am. Hopefully. And not what I could be or what you think I am. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about. Not giving them everything, giving them bits and pieces. But when you realize you're dealing with a lady, then you adjust. Okay. You realize, oh, this shit ain't nothing but a hoe. Then you leave at that goddamn restaurant, and you have nothing to do with her. You ghost her, whatever you young cats are saying nowadays.
So Bolo is saying that's the one where you're like, you know what? You're carrying yourself like a lady. You're carrying yourself like a hoe. I don't really want to mess with you. I'm leaving you at this restaurant, but I hope this ding dongs in your head. Peace. I see you later because I don't really mess with that.
So let me add to what Brittany, Bolo, and him. But wait a minute, Bolo, because I got to go back to something you said too. But Brittany, to answer your question or to pull it together, the reason why we continue having those conversations, even though you're right, the ones that want to be married that are acting like ladies, we still have to give them the examples on how to be wives to become married. Because they've gone past. So maybe, like you said, facts. Remember, Bolo said we're accounting for our past. So now we're taking account for what we've done. We're self-reflecting, even though the people are saying that people over there saying, oh, this is trash. They do this, they do that. It's not affecting us anymore because that's not what we do. But now we're sitting in it and we're trying to move forward. Now, the only way we can move forward is for us to have examples on how moving forward looks. Now, that would be the entire stream. That would be what we're talking about today. Now, Bolo, going back to you. You said something about giving the hoe a second chance. Now, I want to talk to you about this a little bit because we talked about, Brittany and I both started with the accountability, having individuals having no power over us when we do that. Tell me how that affects the second time hoe as far as the accountability. Tell me how that's affecting that. Bolo?
Our job on this. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Our job on this platform is not to pacify the truth. That's not our job. Our job is not to pacify what the truth is. So let's say, I keep bringing up the hoe. Okay, so let's deal with the hoe. My job, we have to understand, Christ dealt with the sick. He didn't deal with Christ didn't deal with those that was healed. He said that. He said, those that are healed, you don't need me. I'm coming back for those that are sick. So my job is to talk to those. Don't get it twisted. I'm not going to talk to her every day. That's not what I'm saying to you. And I think that's the difference of what Hink is saying, opposed to when you find that woman that you can pour into. My job is, if I see a young man selling drugs, my job is, yo, Duke, don't do that. Build with him a little bit and then keep it pushing. If he responds to that in a positive manner, then you give him more, and that's how you move on. If I see a hoe, sorry guys, and you're dealing with it, and you spit that truth at her, and she responds to it, then you give her more, and you point her towards the Father. That's who you need to relax on and chill with, open and giving box. If she continues to rock the way she's rocked, then you don't cast your pearl of swine. You leave her where you found her. You keep it pushing. That's it. You don't sit there and waste your time on someone that don't want the truth. You don't waste your time on someone that don't want it. But for you to see that they want it, you still have to give them an opportunity to show you. If you don't give them that opportunity, how can they then show you that they want to change from being a hoe or a dope boy if you're just looking at them from their past? Because if we're judged by our past, all of us are dying. All of us are. Mm-hmm. This is why Christ died.
Right. Okay, so we just came.
But I agree with Black Man. It's on that person. In an aspect, it's on that man. It's on that woman to want to change. If she doesn't, you got to leave her alone. You leave her where you found her.
So black man, it's on you. Tell us what you think. And then guys, listen, we're gonna close this thing out because we've been here now a while. And I know Bolo and Black Man have shows that they got to get to. So you got a show tonight? I thought you said your show's in the morning.
Today is Friday.
Oh
yes. Ding ding ding.
You got late. You 11:45, right?
Yeah, I take a nap, but I had to come up for this one because
I need you to give your opposing arguments too, because I feel like we have just gone in a complete. We done went down and up, down and up, down and up, and I think we have actually had a solution or a meeting of the minds. What would y'all say? Y'all tell me.
Yeah,
Black Man is the only one that hadn't spoken yet. So Black Man, you go ahead, sir.
No, I just listened to the tidbits because I do feel like this. There's a difference between, and I hate to use this analogy, but okay, there's a difference between a 2022 Cadillac CTS and a 1976 Cadillac DeVille. There's a difference between the two. That DeVille is going to have at least 300,000 miles on it, and you may want to buy a second hand. You may want to give it a second chance. But how many problems will that car give you? If it's been through all these years and it's been torn up, transmission been exchanged, oil ain't been changed in it. It's a mess. It's running bad, smoking out the back. How many opportunities?
Like that?
How many? Listen, how many miles can you go on it when it's been through so many owners? See, what's happening is we're not doing we're not doing a Carfax on relationships, because there's a difference between me and Brittany. I'm meeting Brittany B, and Brittany B is saying, "Hey, listen, I slept with Hank and I slept with Benjamin, but it's a difference if I run the Carfax and it's 3 pages long." And she's expecting me to treat her as a queen, but she's been living like the hidden servant. I can't. How is that a second chance?
You don't know what I tell you.
Even right. Even if I go to jail, if I get arrested tonight, if I go to and hold up a store and I get in the courtroom, I say, "Judge, I'm a first-time offender. Can I get a second chance?" She's gonna say, "Oh, okay." When you get out, 10 years. There's no second chance. There's no second chances when you make the decision to do the wrong thing. When you make decisions, nobody's going to see value in that. The prison system definitely not going to do it.
Your wife gave you a second chance.
Excuse me?
Didn't your wife give you a second chance?
Second chance on what?
On marriage.
What you mean? I got rid of the first one.
Exactly. So you're on the second one, right?
Yeah, but that wasn't a second chance. I pursued her. She didn't pursue me. I wasn't looking for a second chance. If she didn't want it, she could have kicked rock.
Can I respond to that? Because I got to go.
Fired from a job? You ever been fired from a job?
Yes.
Let me respond to that.
But that's not the same thing. That's not the same
Cadillacs are when I work at the dealership and cars come off the assembly line with already.
Now, Brittany B, that's not the same thing. You ain't gonna drive no 76 Cadillac. I guarantee you. You gonna do 2022.
It was well kept. You forgot about the well-kept Cadillacs, the ones that was only driven on Sundays by your granddad to go to church.
Hold on, Black
Man.
Those Cadillacs? I got a 1975 Chevy Impala. I still roll that bitch.
Let me say this.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, hold on. Go ahead.
Let me say this. I got to break out. Let me say this. I understand the point that Black Man made. I understand the point that Black Man made. Black Man made a very good point. But here's the thing that I want us to keep in mind, right? One of the guys, Paul, he was a murderer. Paul was a murderer. And he still found redemption in Christ. He's a murderer. And he murdered for a long time. Christ didn't find him when he was 18. Christ found him when he was a grown-ass man. So if you can find redemption in murder, I'm sure a woman can find redemption in her giving her box up. All right. So with that, I'm gonna say,
I think I read in the overused box.
Thank you, Bolo.
I'm gonna check you, everybody. You Hank, my brother. Brittany B, love you.
We're gonna rewrap the boxes. We're rewrapping the boxes.
That's a UPS right there.
All right, Bolo. Listen, have a good night and have a good show, and thank you so much for being here. So, Black Man, are we good?
Yeah, baby. What you said? We're gonna rewrap the boxes. I wasn't ready for it. Hold
Yeah,
on.
we gotta rewrap these boxes.
Oh, Lord.
That's why I'm
That's
here
right,
talking to women, because we want women to be that are willing to be married and willing to have the boxes rewrapped to get some good information so they can be good wives and mothers and we can get back to this nuclear family and we can just love on each other and all that good stuff. But anybody want to add something before we go?
Thank
come-
you for having me.
Thank you,
I
Brittany.
know
Keep
somebody
coming.
think I'm ghetto over here, but
Let me slide. Let
love
me
being over
slide.
Hey guys, come on over to Black Men.
I got a second chance.
Hey, come on, come on over to Black Men Unfiltered.
Rewrap the box.
Rewrap the box. Y'all come on over to Black Men Unfiltered Network right now. In 2 minutes, we're about to be talking about should we bring back the ass whoopings because kids are out of line today.
They need second chances. What?
Should we bring back the ass whoopings?
No, they need
Let's get
caning.
around.
The kids.
Yeah, they need. That's what they need. Hey, Hank, I'll see you in a minute, boy.
All right, Pete, thank you so
And I'm
much,
sorry
Chat. It's
for
been
All right, Brittany.
wonderful.
But
Y'all
I'm
are great.
ashamed of the
Thank you so much for
the
being
whole
here.
damn thing.
Everybody have a
Asking
good night,
for-
and we will see
Go
y'all
that old
soon.
jive swing.
Go to
Yeah.
Black Men Unfiltered.
I'm fine with standing at the edge of the door. You be the life of the party. I blend in with the cold. You drink it all the Bacardi. Till the bottles no more. Let's take it back for this started. You want the love, I don't got it. Got my soul on the road. You screaming, stay, please don't go. Don't think it's in me to listen to flow. It's so different with distance we roam into zones where nothing get hurt anymore. I just wish I was home when I step through front door, but instead I'm alone and completely unsure. And even though you're screaming out with the best of intentions, I don't get it. Why do you always gotta ask me to stay? Why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. Say, why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. See, I've been lost in my thoughts, and my thoughts they too scared to usher off. Sorry, Mom, I just thought you were my world. Now you're not. And I'm just sitting, smoking, sloping in the days, cause my days ain't been the same since I drove your away. I remember the way you wrote letters in blue ink. You and me was in love. Think about what your crew think. I know your moms probably think I'm a bastard. Your pops probably want to beat my to death and take a in my casket. But I got sick of fighting, bickering, fussing over nothing, cussing. Instead of watching the death of discussions that we once had, days that we once spent in the backseat of our cars, reading poets at sunset. It's funny how love can pull out the foreground, get pushed into the back of your mind. We used to twist a spliff and laugh and relax. Now you crying, and I'm trying to find the reason. So I ask, does forever ever happen, or is it always fade to black? I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on the road. I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on the road.